Hello, everybody. How's it going? Hannah the Hermit. Well, I feel honored to be here so early. I just saw that you were included in Imperial Knowledge's recent video. His video hadn't appeared in my feed yet. That is very cool. I haven't watched the video, but like, did you like appear as a speaker in that video in some parts? Also, I'll swap the game over. It should be. There we go. Um, yeah, so I do understand we're streaming on a Sunday night, which is not really like a good time for people to, you know, be around. So I'm just gonna start, even though we don't have that many people. It was a blast working with him. Covered a few mushrooms in his video. About 15 of it is me yapping about them. Nice. That's awesome. Are you like? Do you have an official? Do you have an official degree in like biology or something like that? Is that what got you interested in botany and all that, the alchemy side of things? Glass King, how's it going? Here because I barely escaped work with my life. That sucks. You'll have to tell me more about that. Skella Mojo, you've inspired me to stream my own playthrough on Twitch today. Gonna be starting soon. Clonk the Orc will be inflicted upon Cyrodiil. Well, hell yeah. Never a better time to start than the present. So, I'm hoping today, we'll obviously finish the Fighters Guild, and then, we'll kind of bleed into some side quests as well. So I've got a handful of side quests that I would like to do, and I will write them in chat as we get there. You know what? Sorry.
Go on.
He doesn't have shoes on. Why does he not have shoes on? Oh, Todd Howard, you've done it again. No, I wish. I wanted to go to school for botany. Went to multimedia productions instead. Still useful. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I went to school for history, and, like, the only way that I really use my history degree is with this YouTube channel. So, yeah. I don't know. You don't always have to use your degree. Your degree does not necessarily dictate what you should or shouldn't do, you know? Okay, so Modron told us... What was the last thing that he told us? I noticed that you're a Breton in this playthrough. Are Bretons your favorite of the Tamrielic races? I wouldn't say that, but I actually do... Like, we picked Breton for this playthrough because it just worked the best for the Spellsword build that we were doing. But I actually do have a tradition of choosing Breton as my first character, because my first character ever in Elder Scrolls was a Breton named Pandora in Oblivion. And so my first character in Skyrim was also a Breton named Pandora, because I did not realize there was a 200-year time skip. And then my first character in ESO was a Breton named Pandora, because I just thought that would... I had to fit with the, you know, theme at that point. But when Elder Scrolls 6 eventually comes out, we will be Pandora the Breton, probably. Unfortunately, having the stream scheduled 10 minutes from now means I can't stay to catch the screen. Yeah, no problem. Use your degree every day as a YouTuber, but not IRL. Yeah, for sure. Gotta use it somehow. Alright, okay, so we're joining the Blackwood Company. For anyone who is who's just joining now, or who hasn't caught up on the last stream, we're joining the Blackwood Company. We're pretty far along in the Fighters Guild. I just got so tired the last time we were streaming, I could not continue. My favorite of the Tamrielic races, though, just while we're on the subject, I have 3. My top favorite are, in no particular order, the Argonians, the Imperials, and the Dunmer. I think those 3 are the most interesting to me on a personal level. Recently, I have really enjoyed learning more about the ancient Nords, and I actually think the Orcs are like super slept on in Elder Scrolls. They are so cool. Needs a key. We'll wait. But no, the Elder Scrolls Orcs are really cool because they're not just like typical fantasy orcs, which are just like evil guys. You know? You have to leverage your education, but it's unhealthy to let it define you. Oh, yeah. Majors were philosophy and economy, but here I am now as a translator. Yeah. I mean, really, like, the good thing about a degree is that it shows that you can commit to something. That's the main focus of getting a degree.
What is it you want? Come for a job?
Like, when people are hiring you, it's like, they mostly want to know if you have a bachelor's degree to prove that you can commit to something and you can, you know, be a good student and stuff like that. So, the thing that your degree is in doesn't necessarily matter most of the time. Code of Malakath, don't be a bitch, kind of. I really need to dedicate myself to the orcs. I feel like I underappreciate them. I just think they're really cool compared to orcs of other culture or other cultures, orcs of other fantasy games. Like they're not just the monsters, you know, like they're the pariah folk, but they're not like savages, like what people portray them to be, you know? Like the whole thing about Gortwog basically wanting to give his people rights is really interesting in Daggerfall. I like that the orcs are just elves, actually. Yes. Yeah, and the dwarves are also elves. I've always appreciated that, too. I've never been a big fan of, like, dwarves in fantasy games or lore. I just find, like, the archetypical dwarf, which is, like, a stocky dude with a beard that likes to mine, I don't find it that interesting. Like, one thing that's cool with Elder Scrolls dwarves is, yeah, they're not like that style. Pillars of Eternity has a cool flip on the typical elf as well, because when you think of elf, sorry if you could hear my phone, when you think of elves, you think of more like majestic, like tall, you know, from the woods or whatever. But there's a race of elves in Pillars called the Pale Elves, and they're like from the tundra. They're like from basically like Antarctica. It's a place called the White That Wends. And I really like the idea of Pale Elves because it's like a flip on the script of where you normally think. You think of frozen place, you think of like the Nords, but it's like, no, that's where the Pale Elves are from. So I like anything that kind of flips the script like that. Snow Elves, yeah, that's true. It's the dude Dareloth. Yes, sir. How's it going, Jade? All right, we'll join the Blackwood Company.
You wish to join the Blackwood Company, do you? I think I've heard of you, though. Fighters Guild, aren't you? Done many jobs for them recently. Yes. What makes you want to join us?
No jobs at the guild.
No jobs? Ha! There is much work to be done here in Cyrodiil. The Blackwood Company is more than willing to do it. You don't look strong enough to me, though. A bit inexperienced, perhaps. Still, maybe we will find work for you. You may join, for now. Since you seem eager to get started, follow me to the training area. We've got the mission you might want a piece of.
For sure.
Also like Edwin, yeah. I never really played with her because she,
Thanks for asking.
I don't know, she wasn't one of like the full companions, but I've heard that that's a mistake.
Black
I've heard
Marsh
that
has
she's a good
become more
companion to
dangerous than ever.
have with
Many
you.
settlers have been lost, and most non-Argonians have left in fear.
I've heard many tales
Look
of
at the
black
muscles on you.
I know, I'm massively built.
This place.
Farewell.
You can tell this is a fantasy game because the quest involves actually getting a job. It's funny how you just walk in here and you're like, can I have a job? And they're like, yeah. In fact, come with me right now and we'll put you right on the spot. Thank God you're live again. I was beginning to feel the loneliness of being a single dog. Yet another bedtime. Feel that.
The four of you have a mission. The settlement of Water's Edge has contracted us to take care of some goblins in the area. Apparently, they've been giving the locals some trouble. shouldn't be a problem for you four, though. The three of you should be prepared by now. But as you see, we have a new recruit with us as well. I'll need a word with you, recruit. You'll need to be careful on this mission. Sometimes new recruits have complications. They are not used to our methods. Take this. It will increase your skills in battle. We use it often. It is a good thing.
I like how, like, I've known this guy for 2 minutes, and he just divulged the Blackwood Company's biggest secret to me. What is this?
This? Why, it is a gift from the swamps of Argonia. Sap of the Hist. A present from my homeland. The Hist are generous to us. So generous.
I don't know if you guys remember, like, a handful of years ago at this point, there were rumors of Elder Scrolls 6 labeled Argonia. And I remember being like an idiot kid, and I was so mad because people were like calling it Argonia. And I was like, what is everybody stupid? It's called Black Marsh. When really I was being the idiot the whole time, believe it or not. Fighters Guild questline feels so disjointed, did everything else in Oblivion Remastered without too much trouble, then had to use the wiki to figure out how to do the Fighters Guild questline. Really? Like you didn't know to go to Burzgro Kosh or Kesh and whatnot? I guess they don't really, like, point you in that direction with quest markers, but you just gotta go to them. Chillin' playing Vampire Survivors, hope your week's been good, bud. Yeah, you too. My week has been pretty good. I've actually been playing a lot of ESO lately, because I wanted to try out the new class system, and I want to make a video on Murkmire at some point, and then I want to do a Greymore stream as well, because I haven't beaten Greymore. So I figured, like, if I'm going to talk shit about it, I might as well play it, you know? Okay, you smuggle Hist sap?
Don't be stupid. We have returned with the Hist itself. One beautiful Hist who gives her gifts to all the company. The clever mages made it possible. Magic and iron. But this is not the time to talk. You drink your gift and go with your new brothers.
How was that a stupider thing to assume? I said, do you smuggle Hist sap? And he goes, don't be stupid. We brought an entire history with us. How was I supposed to figure that out? How's that less stupid than what I said? Don't be stupid. Yeah, Spretton seems trustworthy. Yeah, for sure. This guy who's done 1 billion jobs for the Fighters Guild. Speaking of ESO, have you seen the crates and the new lore about Akatosh and Alduin? I saw that they had new crates in the Crown store, but I usually don't pay those much attention. But I did see that those were Alduin and Akatosh themed. But no, I did not know that they added new lore with that. It's kind of like a weird thing with ESOs. They have like item descriptions, which is something that Elder Scrolls traditionally hasn't had. It's always been more of a From Software thing. So yeah, it is interesting to see. Like, in my Magicka video, I actually cited an ESO Crown Store item, which felt wrong in some sense, but I don't know. I didn't point it out. I cited it correctly, but I didn't point it out verbally. Okay, so we have to drink this Hist sap, I believe, is what we do to progress the quest. Yeah. I've ingested the Hist sap potion. I feel a strange feeling coming over me. Yeah, I should have known it's 0 weight because it's a quest item. Down to the bottom. Zenahax done it again. Yeah, they got a lot of crates. I used to buy those crates when I was an idiot teenager. About the same time that I was yelling at people, telling them the Black Marsh is not Argonia.
Moving! Kill the goblins! All of them!
Alright, let's kill these goblins. Oh man. I thought goblins would have more Oh, hey, I'm sorry.
I accept your surrender.
Man, I thought goblins would have more HP. That's so weird. Went down in one hit.
I can still smell the things. Look in the houses.
Oh yeah, we better go in the houses. Check them out. Oh. Weird. I wonder why they keep dying in one hit. So bizarre. The goblins invading Water's Edge have been defeated. Well, the quest told me that the goblins have been defeated, so we're good. Yeah, these are really evil goblins.
Good. You're finally awake. I was beginning to get a bit concerned about you.
Teenager, but the game came out in like 2014. You're way younger than I thought. Yeah. I am 25, to put things into perspective. What happened?
That's what I was getting ready to ask you. You were found unconscious on the streets in Leowen. Some of your guild brothers found you and brought you to me. Good to see some of them think like we do. Now, what happened out there? They're using hist sap, and they claim to have brought a tree into Cyrodiil? Amazing! I can't imagine what the sap might do to non-Argonians. I'm not surprised you were found the way you were. I imagine those men have built up a tolerance to the stuff. I'm concerned about Water's Edge. I want you to go back there. Make sure the company hasn't ousted the residents. Lay low.
Sounds good, but man,
I'll wait here.
I mean, I basically saved the lives of all those guys in Water's Edge. Like, Blackwood Company can't be that bad, you know, if they're, like, sending me to clear out a goblin infestation in a settlement like this. And we helped that woman out from Water's Edge previously, so, like, she's got to be so thrilled that we helped her out. Egads! No! Wait, they were all... Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh no.
This can't be happening. This is horrible.
I know. Oh no. Oh god.
My poor Vienna. Poor, sweet Vienna. What monsters would do this? How can this have happened?
Damn. If only I'd played this game before. Then I would have known. What happened here?
I wish I knew. They're all dead, all of them. Even my poor, sweet Vienna. You're the one who helped her, aren't you? You helped her pay my debt. I heard about you. She never hurt anyone. Who could have done this? What monster would do this? It wasn't the goblins. It had to have been bandits. But why? We have nothing. Please go. I must bury our dead.
Damn. Yeah, what's up, Nefarious Man? Yeah, Evian, when I want to say I was like 23, I was at a baseball game, and they introduced this guy up to the field. Like, I like baseball, it's my favorite sport. So I've gone to like a handful of games, and I was at one, and for those who don't know, like, baseball games, like, they have a reputation for being boring, because there can be a lot of downtime. And if you're not invested in, like, the pitcher and the batter dynamic that's going on, like, you are going to be super bored by some of the games. And so I was at a game, though, and they showed this one player that came up, and they, like, tell you all the stats. Like, baseball people are crazy for stats. Like, sometimes a player will knock a ball, and it's like, oh, this is the first player in 13 years to hit a ball at 7:30, you know, to the left field and score a double. Yeah, that's what the beer is for, exactly. But, like, they have, like, insane stats. So, like, this guy comes up on to bat, and then they tell you, like, his birthday and stuff like that, just for stuff for you to read before they're batting, you know, to fill the dead air. And I was looking at this guy's birthday, and I was like, damn, this dude is younger than I am. You know, and it's like, what am I doing with my life? I could be out on that baseball field.
Well,
But it is weird to, like, be, you know, I don't know. Age is a weird thing. Time does fly. Favorite team? My favorite team is the Cubs. And actually, the Cubs are doing pretty well this year. Comparatively speaking.
Well?
The 2021 Cubs was one of the worst teams ever, though. And that was like the one year that I got like super into baseball, and they were so bad.
Well, what did you find at Water's Edge?
Because the team exploded with all the trades. Water's Edge.
No. The entire town. I realize you must be disgusted with yourself. I'm sorry for that. It was the hissed sap, though, not you. We now know the threat this group poses, perhaps better than they themselves know it. We must take decisive action now. It is clear to me what must be done. The hissed tree must be destroyed. This tree is the source of our problems. It is an abomination of nature, and it must be destroyed. As long as the Blackwood Company has access to the sap, we are all in danger. I fear they no longer know what they do. You must find a way to destroy the Hist, though I can imagine Reza Kar will have it well guarded. Expect an unfriendly welcome at their hall.
Oh, cool. I haven't watched baseball in a bit, but I enjoyed the Pirates way back when. Gotcha.
Finish it.
Yeah, I don't know how the Pirates are doing this year. I remember, like, I feel like a couple years ago they were decent, but just like Midwest teams in general are so bad. Like the National League, the American League and National League, Midwest teams are just like, or Central, I guess, are just so bad.
Have mercy. Just one.
So consistently. But yeah, no, I don't really take baseball rivalries too seriously. So like there's this one kid that I know that's a St. Louis Cardinals fan, and like the Cardinals and the Cubs are not supposed to get along, you know, but live in Indiana, I get it. Oh, gotcha. See, I'm in like...
You are no longer one of us. Fighters Guild spy, traitor. Your life is forfeit.
I'm in like this weird spot in Michigan where like we get people from Chicago, people from Detroit, people from Indianapolis. So like I've seen people that have Cubs tattoos, Colts tattoos, White Sox tattoos. You know, it's just like you can really like whatever team you want around here. This guy's got so many arrows. But yeah, Midwest gang. Brought back a hilarious memory of someone with a Pacers tattoo on their head. Thank you for the laugh. Well, you know, it made me laugh too, so... Thanks for sharing. Okay. I don't remember the history... Oh, yeah, okay. We gotta go into his room first. I don't understand sports fanatics at that level.
Look who we've got here.
Yeah, I don't really get it either. I can't believe the Blackwood Company armor is just steel armor in this game. That is a huge miss. So I'm writing my Oblivion Remastered review right now, and I made some bullet points. And I'll read a couple of the bullet points here, because I always like revealing a couple things to people who are on the lives. I have a lot of good things to say about the gameplay aspects of Oblivion Remastered. Basically, my three main points here are that gameplay feels better in this version to me. I think a lot of the new visuals are better, like the updated visuals are better. Level scaling feels more natural, is something that I wrote. But like, I do have... Sorry, I got a hair in my mouth. I do have a lot of things in the bad, just because they introduced a lot of bugs. And some of the bugs have been really debilitating for the game. Like, there was that one bug, I don't know if people remember when we were doing the Shivering Isles. There was a bug where I couldn't leave one of the dungeons. That was a really bizarre bug. there's the bug with Shivering Isles where like the Knights of Order you could see their hair through their armor. That was insane, and that's still in the game. Just like weird stuff like that. New rumor Dareloth has hair. I also wrote in, like, I don't want to judge the game for stuff that it doesn't have, but like, like the Courier's Quest. When you would walk into the Imperial City, it would say like new topic, couriers, and they took that out. But it's like, why not add the quest? If you hired new voice actors, you could have at least finished the quest. I don't know. Feels kind of like weird to me that they wouldn't do that. Because that was kind of like a funny part of the game, was seeing that message pop up, and so it kind of like takes it out for new players. Like, they won't understand the new couriers thing. Okay, Blackwood Company Hall basement. Yeah, maybe we need to go a floor higher. I guess we need to go a floor higher. Oops.
To arms! To arms!
I will always say, it's one of my favorite things how enemies can die before they're dead in Oblivion. It is very funny. Dareloth is a Khajiit in shedding season. Yeah. I'm not even getting old, but all my ads on YouTube are for hair loss and ED pills. Okay, this is something I was interested in seeing. It's the history. This guy's a 5-part Argonian name. Hears voices in the air. Nice. Okay, I'll make a save here at the Hist tree. You know, it's less, like, vibrant than the original one. I remember the original one almost, like, was at the point where it sort of hurt my eyes to look at. So, this one, I guess, has improved there. The one thing that I was kind of hoping for was that they would have added the more inspiration from the ESO Hist trees. But this thing just looks like a pine tree, so... Which it always did, but... Yeah. I believe we have to put some... stuff in the gears. I don't know if there's something specific. Sap machine. Is there something I'm forgetting? Find a way to destroy the machinery. Yeah, I feel like there's some item that I've got to pick up. Oh, it's yeah, these pipes. And then you stick them in here. Yep. Alright, the tree was destroyed. It is kind of messed up that we just come in here and destroy this tree. Like, the tree wasn't really the problem, it was the Blackwood Company's usage of the tree. And I just killed the whole Blackwood Company, so... Like, earlier...
You've ruined everything.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Why? I had a job. I had a home. You've taken it all. I'll kill you for this.
Honestly, this time around, I didn't even hate Naglier that much. I didn't hate him as much as I did when I was a kid.
I'm just warming up.
You're a sneaky-looking sort.
Cared more about Blackwood than his own family. SMH could have written short stack. Yeah, he really, I don't know, he's not the best guy in the world, but didn't piss me off as much this time.
Well,
He's not going to get the world's greatest dad award.
have you done it? Have you destroyed that foul tree? Well done. With that tree gone, the Blackwood Company is just another band of mercenaries. Cyrodiil is a safer place for what you've done. I want you to take this. May it serve you well. Now, you should tell Velena Daunton what has happened. Perhaps she will understand what it is we have done. I believe our work is now finished. You are a fine soldier, my friend. You've made me proud. It belonged to an ancestor, Orain Bearclaw, but was lost for centuries. It was found only when Malakath wrongly believed my family line ended. It was returned to me by a stranger from my homeland, Morrowind. Wear it proudly. Perhaps you can help restore the glory of my family's name.
Okay, is this helmet
Tell her right
still going to look a little silly? Honestly? I actually like that. That's cool. I feel like it looked sillier in base game Oblivion, but I like the way that looks. Okay, we'll go talk to Velena Daunton. I guess I'll keep this on my head. How's it going, Hedgehog Giraffe? Just trying to finish some stuff up before the weekend is over. I kind of spent yesterday and a bit of today just sort of like relaxing, and I was playing ESO for a lot. The first tuber I've seen who hasn't made a freak for a character. I have never liked... Here's the thing. Not to be, like... I don't know. I don't like making messed up characters. I really don't. I like... I like... have this weird little part of my brain where, like, every character that I make is like a person in the Elder Scrolls universe. After I'm done playing them, they, like, exist somewhere. So, like, that's a big thing with me for, like, for ESO, for example. Like, all my characters in ESO, I like to think of them as, like, you know, because that game is so big, I'm like, oh, this person lives in this house, and they do this occupation. I don't make messed up characters as Scat Grodon. That's, like, the first real weird messed up character that I made, but we were doing that on stream. My guy is ugly is just low-hanging comedy, been played out for years. Yeah, and so I don't know. I like to treat my characters like I mean, this guy I tried to make him look a bit like me, to be honest, because he's named Dareloth. But yeah, he doesn't look like a one-for-one. Look like they're in pain if they're too freaky. Yeah. You do the same thing. Look in pain. It's so funny. How's it going, Lizard? Be funnier to see creation abominations if it wasn't every single streamer ever. Yeah.
What is it you want? You were told to stay out of my sight. I'll assume you're here to tender a resignation.
You admitted to having hair. It was a mustache hair. It was a mustache hair. It was not hair from my head. I didn't specify.
You've done what? I had no idea it had gotten so bad. How is it you accomplished all of this? With Orion, he was dismissed. I should expel you now. But no, it isn't Orion who is to blame. I fear it is I. I love the Fighters Guild and all its members, perhaps to a fault. I fear my concern for them has made me blind to what's been happening around me. If it were not for you and Orion, I dare not think it. Now we must speak about what you've done and how it will affect any further advancement. Because of your actions, I am hereby stripping you of your rank of champion. You were reckless, foolhardy, and dangerous to yourself and the guild. They were also brave and necessary. Because of this, I am hereby naming you Master of the Fighters Guild, effective immediately. The guild has passed me by. You are its future. Take your responsibilities seriously. I wish you luck. You still have many duties to perform.
Okay.
Farewell.
Well, we are done with that. And now we're going to move on to some side quests. Fighters Guild, honestly, not as good as I remembered it. Maybe my least favorite of the main 4 factions. So, I don't know, which is sad, because I wanted to, like... I'd been hearing people say that the Fighters Guild wasn't, like, that good. And I wanted to be able to say that that was incorrect, but I do think it was the weakest of all the guilds in Oblivion. And yeah, hadn't played it in forever, but I think it gets good towards the end. But for the most part, a lot of the, like, smaller quests are not that great. I really love RPing with my characters to make them feel organic and immersive myself, because I played test for so many years, gotta spice it up. Yeah, I love giving my characters a background. That is one of my favorite things. Do you like how the Fighters Guild questline handles the Hist? Not particularly. The Hist are technically their own race, so like walking in there and burning one is kind of weird to me. How's it going, Teresa? Why is every person you talk to always wiggling? Has to be a UE5 thing? Maybe. I mean, it's supposed to make the characters feel a little bit more organic, I suppose. Still better than the companions. Oh yeah, companions is
Please, go ahead.
Not good. Fighters Guild is usually my least favorite, followed or tied with companions. Yeah. I do not like the companions. I think the companions is just way too short, and they don't... Like, at least they have Modron. I love Modron as a character. But, like, the companions does not have anybody that I really felt I built a connection with throughout the plotline. Like, it feels more like the game is like, you should care about Ayala the Huntress, and you should care about Farkas and Vilkas, rather than giving me a reason to like them, you know? I enjoyed the Fighters Guild questline probably more than any Skyrim faction. Yeah, I mean, Skyrim... I will stick up for Skyrim when it comes to the Thieves Guild and the Fighters Guild, because I just enjoy those questlines. Even if they're not, like... They're definitely a departure. Really, the Thieves Guild is more of a departure from the Thieves Guild in Oblivion, for sure. But... companions all look very stinky. They do. They need a shower. I want to know why I need to care. Yeah, I mean, I described it, I think the last time we were talking about them, as like... I guess I should finish this quest. Last time that we were talking about this, though, it's like... The companions turns into you killing the Silver Hand to avenge Ayala's boyfriend at a certain point, who you knew for like 2 minutes. And it's like, I don't care about Skewer, and I don't really care about Ayala's vendetta. I joined the companions to, like, help the people of Skyrim, and now I'm a werewolf fighting off werewolf hunters. It doesn't really make sense. And then you can marry her. Yeah, but, like, I don't know. For me, personally, I've never found Skyrim characters to be sexy. They all look like they're made of clay. So, like, I know a lot of people are like, ooh, like, tongue falls out of the mouth, cartoon eyes pop out when they look at Ayala the Huntress, and it's like, I don't know. She just always looks like she's made of, like, plastic, because she's a Skyrim character.
Your first duty should be to name your second in command. I can think of no one better for this job than Modron Orion. Should he accept the position, you would be well served. Rely on his wisdom and experience more than I did, my friend. Good luck.
Okay.
Bye.
I wish you could say no to wolfing out and join the Silver Hand instead. Yeah, Skyrim is not great with, like... I mean, to be fair, none of the Elder Scrolls games are great about letting you side with the villain, which is something that Obsidian is good at.
What is it now?
Hopefully they'll get better at that in the next game.
Can you spare a coin?
Did you speak with Valena? How did she react?
His painting is still one of the most iconic things in this game.
Ha! Made you Guildmaster? Amazing! You earned it, though you'll likely muck it all up. So, what are you going to do with your newfound rank? Me? Pah! I was just getting used to being retired. You can see how good my painting is getting. I'm an old man. I've done my time. Then again, someone has to keep you in line. Make sure you don't bring the guild down around our ears. I'll do it, Guildmaster. Just come to me when you want to assign duties to the guild. I'll make sure they get done.
That painting is real? I thought it was a meme. No, it's real. It's great. This is an IRL thing in the game. It's beautiful.
I hope I can help.
Honestly,
Go hurt
you know what would be great in Elder Scrolls 6 is you have this painting in a museum somewhere. That'd be really funny.
A pleasure. Well, you're in charge. You won't be doing the contracts, but the master is always paid a percentage of the guild's monthly take. Check with me monthly to give orders for the month. I'll make it happen. If I don't hear from you, I'll follow the previous month's orders. You can find your monthly stipend in the master's chest upstairs, along with anything we find that you might find useful. Here's the key. So, what are your first orders, Guildmaster?
He said the word month like 8 times there. Focus on recruitment.
Not a bad idea. We can use more men in the ranks. It has its advantages. It gives the guild a greater presence, makes people notice. Plus, members often find items in their travels they can't use, and they leave them here for other members to use. Sometimes there's nice stuff. Farewell.
Ashwin looks like your trashy ex. I am sorry. So sorry. How old is he that as a dark elf he calls himself old? I mean, I've always assumed, like, one thing that Oblivion Remastered did is kind of mess with people's ages a bit. Like, I feel like in the original, Modron had a little bit of gray in his hair. I could be misremembering that. Definitely, Velena Daunton got turned into a MILF when she... I thought she was a grandma for the longest time. They de-aged her by a ton. So, I don't know. They've definitely, like, made some people look a lot different, I'll say. Is it just me, or does the new animation / graphics make the old dialogue seem even more stilted? Yeah, a little bit. Okay, so we've got some quests that I want to tie up. We could do one in Coral really quick. I love this quest. It'll take me like 5 minutes to do. But it's a painting quest. Actually, we'll be doing 2 painting quests today. But this one is about a painting that the Countess has misplaced. Air quotes. I've also noticed that Bethesda sometimes forgets how elves are supposed to be long-lived, especially in Oblivion. Yeah. Whoa. Okay, that's her assistant. I was like, is this guy the Count? Orwin taught me that all Dunmer are born middle-aged with chain-smoker voices and a Sujamma problem. Yeah, they are old from the womb. Characters in Oblivion look like radioactive Play-Doh. Of course, everyone will have a glow-up automatically. The thing is, though, it left more up to your imagination on what these people looked like. In lore, I guess. And giving them, like, hyper-fidelity faces in a lot of instances has kind of, like, made some of the characters almost look weirder to me. You know?
Hello. Welcome to Castle Coral. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Countess Velga of Coral. I wish I had time to chat, but I'm afraid I'm in the middle of an investigation.
Love the channel picture, by the way. Oh, with the Gray Fox, my profile picture. Thank you. So for anyone who doesn't know, my profile picture was actually a commission that I put in for Rado Pombo. And I do have a commission for another picture. Actually, 2 other pictures from him. I actually emailed him just a couple days ago. Okay, we want to talk about the investigation.
You seem the trusting type. Perhaps you can assist me. It seems someone has taken away an heirloom that is quite dear to me. I want you to help me recover a stolen painting. The painting was of my lost love, the Count Valga, and it has been stolen from my bedchamber. If you
See
find
Paul
the
Allen's
painting
Elder
and bring the
Scroll.
culprit to justice, you shall be justly rewarded. What say you?
Let's see Paul Allen's Elder Scroll. That sheen. Damn, her mouth is wide. A lot of people have been saying that the mouths are really big in this game. The only ones that I feel are, like, huge are the orc mouths.
Very well. I suggest you begin to gather clues.
I suppose
And
her
I
mouth
warn
is a
you,
bit big.
Do not accuse the wrong person, or I shall be quite cross with you. Here are some keys. They should allow you access to many of the restricted areas in Castle Coral.
Did you know children didn't exist on Nerd until 4th Era 201? True. How's it going, Soul Angel? But one thing with faces, like... So, most... Like, if you look at your face in the mirror, or if you take a picture of yourself and look at it, like, faces generally follow a symmetry rule. So, your lips... the corner of your lips usually line up with the middle part of your eye. And your ears, if you look at her ears right here, the bottom of your ear lines up with the bottom of your nose, and the top of your ear lines up with generally the top of your eye or your eyebrow. And then like your forehead is like a third of your face. So faces generally follow a symmetrical rule. You can look at your face right now and do this. So really, like, looking at her face, it does follow the rules of like symmetry that faces generally follow. I think it's just when she talks, her mouth might open up a little bit too wide. But like if you're an artist or something like that, like these are things that, you know, you just learn as you start to draw. I've never been like a formally trained artist. Obviously that's why I'm hiring somebody to draw me more profile pictures and stuff. But like, I like to draw faces a lot. Eyes too close set, mouth too wide, I can't unsee. See, I mean, the thing that I would say is like, someone could look like this in real life. I don't think this is an unrealistic looking person. Not in the sense that like
Good luck,
the
investigator.
OG Oblivion faces
You're a sneaky looking
were.
sort.
I don't know. It doesn't like blow my mind that like I don't know. Maybe I just have a higher tolerance for the faces in this game, but like the faces don't really bother me.
My pleasure, really.
Okay, so there's paint stains over here. We should be able to click on. Am I not?
Greetings to you.
I need to
I
talk more
heard
with
there's
them.
a new... I hope the investigate... Your best bet is to speak to residents of the castle. Once you have found out all you can, search for physical clues.
Yep.
You
Good
have
luck,
the hands
investigator.
of a healer.
I knew to be worried when the trailer lacked character faces. Yeah. You know what I'm upset about is that my man Kalthar in the Mages Guild does not look like a little sewer troll anymore.
I hope the investigate...
Okay, stolen
The
painting.
painting is all... I spend many a lonely night wishing that the words I speak to it will be heard, and not just fall upon the lifeless pigments and canvas. Chanel and Orgnolf both reside in the private quarters section. They have been restricted to remain indoors, so they should be easy to find. You may also want to speak to Bitneld, the captain of the guard. He can be found on patrol in Coral or in the barracks. Finally, I would try speaking to Aurak Grogoth, who is my steward. He resides in the private quarters section as well. If he isn't in the castle, he may be at the Northern Goods and Trade, buying food to stock our larder.
Alright.
Good luck, investigator.
Is that enough for me to click on the paint? Can't click on the paint still.
I hope the
Do I need to continue talking to you?
I was elsewhere at the time of the robbery, and the chamber was locked. The only other people who have had access to the chamber and were unaccounted for are the court mage, Chanel, and the porter, Orgnolf. Don't forget to check with Bitnell.
Okay, yes.
Good luck, investigator.
Alright. May I please click on the carpet now? Why? Let me click on the carpet. Do I have to talk with everybody first? I like how they kept the stylization in the remaster, honestly. Yeah, me as well. I've seen a lot of people, though, talking about how, like, they think that this game is soulless or, like, doesn't have the spirit of the original in a lot of senses. And as someone with a lot of time in regular base game Oblivion, I feel like it's pretty faithful to the original in a lot of senses.
It is a privilege. Hey!
Okay, so I'm getting all flipped around.
A pleasure to see you.
Yeah, pleasure to see you too.
Hello.
There's Chanel.
Hello. Are you searching for something?
Uh-huh.
Certainly.
100 disposition.
The stolen painting was of Count Volga. Whoever painted it could not do the man justice. He was kind and noble, which is difficult to convey on canvas. I'm afraid other than that, I cannot offer much more information.
Okay.
Yes, I have heard that the painting of the Count was taken. I was unaware she hired an outsider to conduct the investigation. May luck be with you.
Uh-huh.
Until your return.
Okay, so she needs to... Here, I'm gonna push her. Okay. Okay. Chanel, you gotta work with me here. So, there you go. I freed her. I'm gonna check in this desk. Oh, wrong desk. Alright. We'll keep looking. Oh, we're in Lathe's quarters. We need to be in Chanel's quarters. For no particular reason.
Hello.
Orgnolf's
Greetings, dear.
quarters. Chanel's quarters. Lectern. I can't open it. Why can I not interact with anything? Do I have to talk to all these people first?
Hello again. The night that the painting was stolen, I was in the courtyard of the castle taking star readings. After a while, I decided to go into the dining area just off the Great Hall. I poured myself some wine and studied the charts I had made until it was time to sleep. From there, I went directly to my chamber and slept the rest of the night.
Okay.
Until your return.
Alright, let's go talk to all the people first then. I guess I forgot how this quest was structured.
Please, go ahead.
A hail and hearty welcome, friend.
Hello.
Brave deeds, friend. Taking the fight to Oblivion itself. I salute you.
See, the orcs' mouths go past the middle of their eye. So that's why I think their mouths are just genuinely huge. But really, the upper lip, like if we were to turn this guy's face to side profile, yeah, like he turned down right there. I guess his mouth is still kind of center of the eye, but his upper lip juts out so far that it makes it look like it's way farther. And they also just had to make the mouths bigger to accommodate the teeth, so. Anyway.
I don't remember seeing Chanel or Orgnolf that entire evening. But then again, I stayed in my quarters most of the night. There was no point in going on my usual walk with all the rain falling. As far as Chanel and Orgnolf go, they seemed fine to me. I only had a minor scrape with Orgnolf recently. I caught him drinking in the West Tower on the upper level. I told him if he didn't stop, I would tell the Countess. He just grumbled and agreed. He hasn't bothered me since. Take care.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty faithful adaptation.
Hello, I'm Laith Waverick, the Chief Herald and Countess Valga's attendant. Welcome to Coral.
I do not like this voice actor, I hate to say.
My duties rely on watching no more than the throne and attending to visitors. But confidentially, I will say that Orgnolf has been acting a bit unusual. His abuse of drink has gotten worse lately. He has taken to asking for money from others to purchase spirits. A porter's wage does not befit his habits. Fare thee well.
Okay. Got Lathe out of the way. What's up, Judge Dredd? How's it going? Yeah, it might just be the way the mouths are animated.
So, you a living statue, or are you gonna say something? Coral's got plenty to eat and good thick walls, and that suits me fine. I don't know what's going on out there in the woods, and I don't need to. The night of the theft, I was in the Great Hall, having an argument with a delivery boy from Braville. It seems his horse lost its footing in the heavy rain we had that night, and the shipment of port that it was carrying slipped to the ground. Oh, the fall broke most of the bottles. He didn't want to claim responsibility, but I gave him what for and sent him away. After that, I spent the rest of the night in my quarters, reading.
Orgnolf Hairy Legs.
Aye, it was a fine portrait of a fine man.
I want to slap his bald head. You know, that haircut is like... I do think it works for some guys. I would never have that on my head.
So, the Countess hired you to find the painting, eh? Well, you'll not find it by gawking at me. Back to work for poor old Orgnolf.
The George Costanza. Yeah, it works for George, though.
Greetings to you.
All the Oblivion voice acting always makes me smile. Some kind of whimsy to it. Yeah, and that's really, like, the big thing for me is I just am not okay with, like, keeping lines of dialogue like the one lady who messes up on her speech, but then removing some of the most iconic lines of dialogue.
It's about time.
Is upsetting.
I'm your relief.
It's about time. I'm your relief.
My feet are killing me.
Keeping some parts of the original, but then removing others is weird.
You have the hands of a healer.
You have the hands of a healer.
I used to think you were a hero. A holy...
Okay, yeah. Yeah, see, his eyes are very big. But now, the curse bringer. It's also the addition of beards on some characters is it kind of throws me off. I'm used to it by now, but like... Okay, gather
I'm
clues.
sorry, I wasn't in that evening. I was making my rounds of Coral. The only odd occurrence lately was with Channel. I have seen her spending a lot of time in the West Tower. When I asked her about it, she said it involved her spell research. I suppose at the time it sounded good enough for me.
Yeah, wait a minute. He does kind of look like Big Boss.
You too.
It is a privilege. Another day, another septum.
Can't believe how they massacred my boy Rindir. Came into Rindir's and started saying his lines out loud only to be jump scared by Skyrim Courier. That's another voice actor. Honestly,
A pleasure to...
I don't even really like that guy in Skyrim. I'm surprised they brought him in as the guy to replace all the Wood Elves. You know, it's like I can't think of a single character that guy voices that I'm like, oh, that's a great character. But maybe I'm just like misremembering. Okay, now I can interact with this. He voices a kid from Rorikstead, right? Eric the Slayer. I found paint stains. Yep. Okay, so we got that out of the way. Athletics to 97. Hell yeah. Back to the private quarters.
Well met. It is a privilege.
Okay. Chanel's lectern. And then I think it's over here. Jason Marsden, is that the guy's name? Only follower I ever had in New Vegas was Vanessa, I think her name was. I've only beaten New Vegas a couple of times. Unusual painting. I found an interesting painting in a concealed area of the West Tower. It seems someone in the castle is a painter. I now have enough clues to make an accusation. Veronica, that's it.
Well met.
Probably wouldn't care if not for the nostalgia, but I wish we could flip a preference in settings to have the OG voices. It just seems like they put in a lot of effort into the OG voices to not add anything new with them. You know, like, wouldn't it be nice if they added some unique lines of dialogue to the game instead of just, like, re-recording old lines? It's very bizarre. Should replay New Vegas on stream? Maybe. Maybe one day. I don't know. Fallout's just not really my thing. Like, I enjoy New Vegas. It is a good game. But Fallout's just not really my thing.
Greetings, investigator.
Okay, we need to go find her.
A hail and hearty welcome, friend.
Yes.
Like, with Elder Scrolls, when I'm streaming these games, I can provide a little bit of commentary on stuff, you know. Fallout, I would be...
Any luck
I wouldn't
yet?
know.
Hello again. Are you accusing me of taking the painting?
Yes.
Very well. I confess to the crime. But please understand, I only did it out of the great love I had in my heart for Count Volga. It was I that painted that portrait. When the Count was lost, the Countess spent so much time with it that I became jealous. I had to have the painting back, so I decided to steal it, then hide it behind the painting in my quarters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ashamed of my crime, but ready to face what fate has in store for me.
Okay.
I am undone.
Cool. I always thought this quest was very cool when I was a kid, just being able to, like, explore the castle and stuff. Obviously, it has more whimsy when you're a child.
Oh, you have returned from your investigation, and I'm eager to hear the results. Whom did you accuse?
Chanel.
I'm shocked to hear of Chanel's crime, as she has always been such a nice member of our court. But I see that your evidence is without question. She shall be banished from Castle Coral and stripped of her duties. However, I am not without pity, and therefore she shall not be jailed. But she is never to set foot in Coral again. Congratulations on a job well done.
That's kind of mean.
As a reward, please accept this bounty of gold and gems. You've earned it. Farewell.
Fine greetings to you.
Something comfortable about a perpetually medieval world. The world of Fallout seems depressingly bleak. Not great for escapism, IMO. I've just never really been a post-apocalyptic fan. Like, that genre just does not really interest me as much as fantasy does. For whatever reason. I don't know. But, like, never really gotten the bug for it. I've played Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4, and Fallout 76. And I own Fallout 1, 2, Tactics, and I think I own 3 somewhere. I've played 3 a couple times, but I've never beaten it. I like have not enjoyed Fallout 3 when I've played it. So I've tried it like maybe 3 or 4 times. I booted the game up, and yeah, it's just like, I don't like that game very much. I think it's very ugly. Which, like, is one thing in and of itself. That I tell people not to judge Morrowind for that, but I don't think Morrowind is ugly. But I also just don't like the way that game plays or feels. Speaking of medieval, have you heard of a hurdy-gurdy? It's an old instrument. Gotta say, super cool sounds. No, I have not. Okay, I want to do the painting quest in Cheydinhal. Current Fallout 3 game has 550 hours. Crazy. Don't you also have like a 900-hour save on Skyrim too? I think it's over this way. One of the reasons I love New Vegas is that it deals with the post-apocalypse, and not the perpetual doom and gloom of Bethesda Fallouts. Yeah, I think that the interplay between, yeah, that is a good point. Like, it's not necessarily about like rebuilding the society of old. It's like dealing with the society that has come about, and that is interesting to me. I really like the interplay between Caesar's Legion and the NCR. I find that very interesting.
Flying in the sky, cliff racer fly so high, fly.
Oh my god. Oh, that's the first time I've heard that. People have been telling me that they've massacred that line, but that's the first time I've heard it. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad. Wow. That, I just have to like go for a walk. That upset me. Oh, wow. Like, that is terrible. Why did they feel the need to do that? It's totally unnecessary change. Usually does good work, but he butchered that. Well, yeah, because they don't... It feels like they don't ever give these voice actors direction.
Can you help me, please?
Yes.
I'm Tavella Lethandis. I apologize that I can't give you the respect a guest in my home would normally receive, but I am at my wit's end. I am sorry to be so forward, but I desperately need your help. It seems that my husband, Rice, has gone missing, and I just don't know what to do.
Right.
Yes, my husband is the Rice Lethandis. Have you heard of him?
Nope.
You haven't? That's strange. Ryth is known far and wide as one of the best painters in all Cyrodiil. His specialty is setting the great forest to canvas. The paintings look so amazingly real that some say they can see the trees sway in the breeze. That's a silly notion, of course, but it just goes to show the attention to detail Ryth uses when he paints.
You said Ryth is missing?
Yes. Ryth likes to work in his studio with the door locked so no one can disturb him. He usually comes out to eat dinner and sleep, but 2 days ago he didn't come out at all. At first I wasn't worried. He does that occasionally. But when he didn't come out for a full day, I unlocked the studio with the key he said to use only in emergencies. It turned out he wasn't inside. I'm sure he never left that room, so I have no idea where he's gone. Please, help me find Ryth. I love him dearly, and I am so worried.
Yep.
Oh, thank you so very much. Here's the key to Ryth's studio. You may come and go as you please. If you need me, I'll be around the house. Do hurry. I miss my love so much. Do be careful.
Okay. Someone asked if I stream every Sunday. I do not. I just kind of stream whenever I either have the time or I get the bug to do so, if I have a reason to. I do like that they kept the original way the painting looked here. Yeah, I don't understand replacing the Cliff Racer song. That is heinous behavior. That's, to me, it just, like, that feels like such a boardroom decision. It doesn't feel like... It doesn't feel like they understand their audience when they make a decision like that. Now, I've got to be honest. I did play this before on my character that I played
Where
off
did you
the stream.
come from? You look real enough. You must be from the outside. Oh, thank goodness someone finally came. While I'm overjoyed to see a friendly face, I'm afraid I have some bad news for you. You're stuck here like I am. Sorry to break it to you like that, but if it wasn't for that annoying thief, we wouldn't be in this predicament. I was in my studio when a Bosmer wearing dark clothing accosted me. Before I could call for help, he knocked me unconscious. When I came to, I found that the door to my studio was still locked and that the thief had snatched my paintbrush. That's when I saw it. There was something on the canvas of my painting that I hadn't put there. It looked somewhat like a troll, but it was badly done. Then it hit me. The Bosmer must have leapt into the painting, then painted guardians inside to protect himself using the brush of true paint. I knew the secret of my success would be revealed one day. I can tell you all about the brush if you like.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Very well. The brush showed up several years ago in the possession of an artist who was serving in the Arnesian War of 396. It seems an errant fireball had exploded next to him, and he lost the use of both arms. He was a stubborn man who didn't want to give up his talent. Being a devout follower of Dibella, he prayed to her for something that would allow him to express himself once more. She heard his plea and gifted him with the brush. It said the bristles of the brush are woven from Dibella's own hair. That injured man was my father. He passed the brush on to me, and I intend to pass it along to my kin one day. Did you want to know how it works?
Sure.
The brush allows the artist to paint from within a canvas. It opens a portal into which the artist may enter to paint things life-sized. All the painter has to do is have the brush in his possession, and whatever he imagines appears in the canvas. Of course, I'd like to wave it around anyway. It makes me feel more like a legitimate painter. I guess it all doesn't matter now. Unless you can defeat those painted trolls, we have no chance of getting the brush back.
Okay.
Be cautious, friend.
I'm pretty sure... Make a save here in case I need to come back. I'm pretty sure you can just jump over this rock and skip this entire dungeon. If you just come over... Oh, maybe it's this way? More or less. This is very cool, though. I like the filter that they have over it. Yeah, the design docs thing is crazy. I always wonder, like, they must have gone back on that after that Emil Pagliarulo disaster of an interview. I feel like they have to use design docs now. I guess I was wrong about being able to jump over that, but I could have sworn this is where the dungeon leads, so let me make sure I didn't miss something with Wraith. I said this before, but I really hope Test 6 never happens.
While I'm overjoyed...
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, painted trolls.
The trolls that the thief painted seem to have turned on their creator and killed him. He didn't know the brush had its risk. The creatures are now loose all over the forest and in the clearing where I was still working. The brush is on the body of the Bosmer thief there. I will not be able to help you.
Okay, I think we needed to get those
I'll have to
first.
Be cautious, friend.
Oh, and those actually weigh me down. What was I gonna say? Oh, I was, like, hoping, because I've been saying for a while that I was a Starfield hater from day one. and that's true. I wanted Starfield to fail to whip Bethesda into Morrowind mode again, because Morrowind was made, for those who don't know, Morrowind was created under immense pressure, and basically the studio was going to collapse, so Morrowind was kind of meant to be Bethesda Game Studios' last hurrah for a lot of people. Oh, I was a Starfield hater before it even came out. Yeah, me too. That's what I mean. Day one of like the trailer coming out. Like I've wanted that game to fail since it was announced. And I'm hoping that the failures of Fallout 76 and the failures of failures not of Fallout 4, but like Fallout 4 has not been received as well over time as like
Let me go paint us a way out.
Skyrim has, you know? So yeah, I hope that game would fail early on. And I'm glad to say, like, when I saw the first gameplay trailer for that game, I was like, smoke particles look like shit, reused climbing animation, reused walking animation. Like, they need to stop recycling old crap. But if you are going to recycle old crap, at least do something good with it.
Good work. Now I can paint the portal home.
Okay.
Follow me.
He said Starfield was the best thing they've ever made. Well, yeah, then he's delusional. I was thinking, like, I was thinking of getting Game Pass recently because I cannot access my old Elder Scrolls Online account, and I wanted to get in there and, like, check some stuff out. So I was thinking about getting Game Pass for, like, a month, or, like, Xbox Gold with Game Pass. And, if I did that, I would get Starfield, so, because it's on there.
Oh, I don't know how to thank you. You've brought my husband back to me. I shall always count you as a friend.
Me hating on Bethesda? Yeah, I have Bethesda hater in my bio.
My love is home again. I'll never leave his side.
It's an opportunity to learn, yeah.
1,000 thanks to you.
I do think that, like, I've totally soiled myself having any sort of professional relationship with, I think I've soiled myself having any sort of professional relationship with Bethesda. But, like, I don't know, I feel like I just hold them to the same standard that I would want to be held to by people. But, I don't know. They've made me hate them, unfortunately. I will say I don't hate any individual that works at Bethesda, but as an organization, they've failed me time and time again. I'd rather be you than a paid shill. Yeah, that's the thing that I don't want to turn into, is a paid shill. What worries me about a good flop these days is a lot of times, instead of kicking a company into gear, their monolithic mega company owners just cancel future games and shut them down. Yeah, that's true. I don't think they can avoid that. The engine is the limit. It is legit the reason all Bethesda games play more or less the same, and also why they almost put magic into Fallout. I don't know, like, I think that the engine is... Like, there are people smarter than me when it comes to the engine. I don't know. I think they should update their engine. I think that staying in the creation engine for Bethesda is, like, kind of a crutch. Because I've talked about this. I think I brought it up in my Bethesda rant video. Bethesda relies way too heavily on modders to do work that they don't want to do themselves. So they release shitty products, and then they just toss it out to the fans. And then they say, you guys deal with it. So, like, one thing, I just made a community post asking people's thoughts on Oblivion Remastered. And one of the things that I saw that people were upset with was mod support. Came up a couple times that people said. Which is just, like, interesting to me that people want access to mods. Like, they don't want to just play Bethesda's games, they want to mod Bethesda's games. And if Bethesda swaps off of the creation engine, that would make it so that way they it's harder for people to mod their games, and then they actually have to make a good game instead of just like another platform for people to mod. So, so I don't think they'll ever swap off of the creation engine, unfortunately, because they are kind of addicted to having their fans create content for them. If the Creation Club wasn't enough proof of that, I don't know what will be for some people, but yeah. I hate how people view criticism as toxic negativity and being a hater. Yeah, I mean, I've called myself a hater before, but it is hyperbolic. Like, obviously, obviously I would love for Bethesda to, like, do something to make me love them again. But I don't think that modern Bethesda will do that, you know? Also, there's the haunted house quest we could do. Anvil. We're in a strange time because voting with your dollar is the only way to change this stuff, but brand recognition sells games alone now. We're stuck in a loop. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. People will just kind of buy things that have the right name on them. I mean, Call of Duty, like, how many Call of Duty games are they on now? I feel like they release a new COD like every year or two, and it's like, people just buy it. I don't understand why. Like, for me, I know that, like, people in the Call of Duty community, which I'm not a part of, I would not consider myself a part of it, but I know that everybody has their own opinion on, like, what the best Call of Duty is. But I think that if they just released a good Call of Duty and just focused on that for, like, 3 years, that would be, like, way better than releasing one every single year. Because one thing that, like, I got caught up with, because I used to play COD with my friends, and I would get really into one COD, I'd get to, like, Prestige 6 or something like that, and then the next year would roll around, and it's like, alright, we're gonna get the new one. And it's like, but I just invested, like, so many days of my life into this Call of Duty already. Why do you want me to get a new one? It was the same thing with Destiny 2. Destiny 2 released, and I get that it's a different game now. It's a different game now after launch. But when Destiny 2 launched, that game was, like, identical to Destiny 1. And I had a lot of time on Destiny 1 with my buddy. Him and I played for, like, a whole summer one time. And then it was just like, alright, here's the exact same game. Nearly the exact same gameplay. And, but you don't have any of your stuff now. It's like, what? If you're gonna make me pay for a sequel, at least make it a little bit different. Don't hate, hey, now I hate Destiny 2, I play it every day. Yeah. No, one of my buddies, he's, like, huge into Destiny 2, and he's like, yeah, this is the worst game ever made. But he still plays it all the time. Why do we need a new Madden game every year? Yeah, I mean, the only thing with those games is that they update the players in those games, but, like, you could do that in an update itself. You don't need to release a new one every single year. Sports games in general, to me, are kind of odd, because it's like, the rules of the game don't change that frequently. You don't need to make a new one every year. You could just update the roster of people. COD went to shit after MW2. I don't think that's accurate. I think Call of Duty started going down after... COD Ghost was really, like, the last one before the jetpack era of COD that people really liked. And honestly, I kind of liked the jetpack era. I think if those jetpack COD games didn't have COD on them, they would have not sold better, but they would have been better received by people. Because people, their biggest complaint with Call of Duty, like Advanced Warfare, was like, well, the Call of Duty should be boots on the ground. And I don't know, I thought Advanced Warfare was a fun shooter, but it just, yeah, it didn't really necessarily feel like COD. Black Ops 2 was the last good one, I think. I think so. It's so hard to tell with Call of Duty games, though, because, like, you tend to just like the one that you grew up with as a kid. You know, they're all pretty much the same game. Like, the last one that I enjoyed was, Modern Warfare 2019. And then the last one I played was Cold War. But like, there's CODs that I've enjoyed. They're all pretty much the same game. So, I'm just really disappointed with UE5 graphics, I think. Not so much the remaster itself. There's so many freaking bugs, though. Yes. I need a COD game that's just zombies? Yes! Oh my god, thank you for saying it. That's what I've been preaching since I was like 13. I love COD Zombies. I'd do a fucking COD Zombies stream, but nobody would watch it. But I got so invested in COD Zombies. My highest solo round in COD Zombies is round 77. Played a ton of COD Zombies. I hate zombie games? No. We're not talking about a zombie game. We're talking about Call of Duty Zombies, which is a totally different thing. Call of Duty Zombies is one of the weirdest... Call of Duty Zombies is its own weird little universe that's like... It's got lore. COD Zombies actually has lore. They have like a Necronomicon of shit. Of like convoluted lore. COD Zombies is the most interesting part of Call of Duty. At least the Black Ops games. You ever play Titanfall 2? That's a super underrated FPS. Titanfall 2 is my favorite shooter of all time. Although I have way more time in Overwatch. I used to play a ton of Overwatch. I was a big shooter guy for a while. Yeah, COD Zombies is somehow different. I don't know how to explain it. It's got like weird lore. Which zombies? Black Ops 3 was my favorite zombies. And I think Black Ops 3 is still the best zombies. I've not really enjoyed any of the games, any of the zombies games that aren't Treyarch, though. I only play Halo. Halo is super fun. Halo is also very fun. The fact that COD Zombies has inspired entire indie games is a sign it needs its own spin-off. It really would just be like, I think Zombie Chronicles came out in 2017 or 18, and it was on Black Ops 3 as the platform, because Black Ops 3, I think, had like the best Treyarch Zombies mode. And yeah, so Black Ops 3 Zombies, it released something called Zombie Chronicles, which was like a remaster of all the old maps. It was like $40 or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's very fun. And that's all you really need, is just like a collection of maps. Don't see the zombie appeal. It's just like, I don't know. I mean, like, do you mean the zombie appeal of like the creatures, zombies themselves, or just like, I don't know. The gameplay loop of COD Zombies is very fun. Like training zombies around, looping, getting guns and upgrading and whatnot. It's just like, I don't know, the gameplay is very solid, usually. Okay, what quest are we doing? I guess we'll do... Yeah, we're in Anvil. I went on a COD Zombies tangent, sorry. Meant aesthetically? Oh yeah, sure. See, the zombies in Call of Duty are not actually like... I don't know, they're infected with an element 115, which is like... it's so hard to get into. It's from like a different dimension and shit. You really need to like look up a Call of Duty Zombies lore video and like get the full scoop on it, because they're like... They're not traditional zombies. Okay, where's the... I think the inn's over here. Did I get the free house here? We're gonna do that quest. Oh yeah, the Oblivion zombies are disgusting. Okay, where's my man? There he is.
What is it?
You wouldn't happen to be in the market for a home, would you? If you are, I just happen to be selling a manor located right here in Anvil.
I got rid of my man Wes.
Yes, I'm selling my grandfather's house, Benaris Manor. If you're interested, I could let you have it for a modest sum. I have to sell it soon, as I have pressing matters elsewhere. You're welcome to take a look at it. It's located across the street from the chapel. Once you buy, you get the key to the front door and the deed of ownership. That's the deal. Would you like to buy it now? Excellent! Here's the key to the front door and the deed of ownership. I hope you enjoy your new home. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must attend to those pressing matters I spoke of earlier. Good day.
Yeah, unless you're Falanu.
I understand
True.
Daedra worship has become increasingly...
Which Elder Scrolls game do you think has the best atmosphere? So I'm actually in the process of making some smaller videos, which I mentioned in a community post, just to get stuff filled up on the channel in between big lore projects. And my goal is to have one video out per week of just kind of like the 20-minute stuff that I've been doing. So like the Sheogorath video is about 22 minutes, you know, like stuff that I can pump out a little bit quicker. That's maybe just like opinion pieces or whatever. Because I tend to, you know, like what I was saying, I tend to kind of complain a lot about stuff, and criticize, which, you know, I mean, I enjoy it. It's the type of stuff I listen to people do online, but also, like, I need to mention some of the positive stuff as well. And I wanted to talk about my favorite parts of the Elder Scrolls games. So, okay, hold on, sorry. Let me deal with these ghosts. Sometimes it's very hard for me to talk and do something at the same time. I think I need to turn down my volume for myself. Anyway, so I wanted to do something where I talk about my top 10 favorite things from each Elder Scrolls game. And I was writing stuff down for Skyrim, and skeletal hand. And I was writing down, like, the atmosphere is something I really liked in Skyrim. But I'm also going to make a video on Morrowind eventually, and I do think Morrowind has a better atmosphere than Skyrim does. I think Morrowind and Skyrim both succeed in exploration and in atmosphere, but in very different ways. Like Morrowind's exploration is really good because there's no fast travel, and it makes you navigate the world, and sort of like the fog of war of the map is really cool in Morrowind. Obviously there's all the mechanics to get around the game as well, that are really cool. So Morrowind handles exploration like that. Skyrim exploration is really good because it's like there's radiant stuff for you to do along the way, and the dungeons got a lot better. So it kind of makes you want to explore a little bit better. So yeah, I would easily say Oblivion is the worst when it comes to exploration. Like if we're talking base game Oblivion, yeah, no thanks. I fast traveled everywhere in Oblivion when I was a kid. I never had even one thought to like walk somewhere unless I absolutely had to, because it's like the game does not look great. Base game Oblivion, like despite what people say about the vibrancy and whatever about Oblivion, go back and play original Oblivion, especially on like console. It doesn't look good. You can see the grass spawning in front of you. You know, and everything kind of is like, a lot of the colors they're vibrant, sure, but they're also a little bit like washed out to an extent. So, yeah. Anyway, to answer your question, I think that Morrowind and Skyrim both have really good atmospheres. And I like the atmosphere of Oblivion as well. It's just like, I don't know, the exploration of Oblivion makes me not enjoy the atmosphere as much half the time. hate to say it, but I love survival mode in Skyrim. It's annoying at times, but I love that it forces me to explore. Yeah, I actually have gotten into discussions with people about this where, like, I said that I liked survival mode, and some people were like, what? You actually enjoyed that? Like, I thought it was fun. It made me play Skyrim in a different way, which normally I don't have to do. Normally I just play Skyrim in the same way every time, forever. So, yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a fun experience. We haven't read the Augma Infinium yet. What is wrong with me? Path of Shadow. Security skill increased. Dang. I thought we read that already. Characters are very washed out in the OG Oblivion, not to mention their skin neck mesh. You know what? I never actually noticed that until maybe like 5 years ago I noticed it for the first time. It is very weird. Been playing a survival character on Switch, which helps me practice what I teach in alchemy. Yeah, true. Skyrim gets a bad rep sometimes. Yes, the colors are more muted than Oblivion, but there's more color than just gray. I don't think Skyrim's colors, I've never really thought they're like muted. I just don't think they're as vibrant. Like Skyrim's going for a more realistic tone than any of the other games before it. So I think that's where the idea comes from that like Skyrim is bland. Now Skyrim's color palette in general, again, I don't think is muted. It's just that its color palette uses a lot of grays, browns, and like, I don't know, blues and greens. So it's just not utilizing as large of a scale of stuff. Like when you go into the Shivering Isles, for instance, in this game, like it's tons and tons of colors being used in the like night sky and stuff. Okay, am I crazy or... Oh, there it is. Okay, there's a piece of paper. I couldn't see that. Okay, I'm going to read through this, but I will catch up on chat really quick. Skyrim has beautiful views, like hiking in a state park. Morrowind is also beautiful, but more in a swamp at night, and there are many enemies way. Morrowind is very fun to explore because it allows you to explore it in fun ways. You know? Morrowind, like, I think the satisfaction of Morrowind is, like, looking at a place, and you're like, I wonder if I can get there. And then you actually can. You can levitate up to stuff. You can fly across the world. If you know how to use the Scrolls of Icarian Flight, too, you can, like, zoom and land in Sadrith Mora if you want. Once I started recording footage in it, it irked me, but my times playing it in college/younger, I never paid attention. Love the difference in color from Falkreath to Morthal. Night and day difference. Yeah, Skyrim like has also very distinct zones, and this is a big thing with Oblivion, and why Oblivion's exploration is also not as fun, typically. Which, this is something that Skyblivion looks like they're doing really well. Think about Skyrim's map. Skyrim's map it has different geographic zones. So you have those like sulfur pools south of, like in Eastmarch, right? Like in between Riften and Eastmarch. Then you've got like the autumnal area of the Rift. Then you've got the wooded area of Falkreath. Then you've got kind of the open plains of Whiterun. You've got the marsh of Hjalmarch. And then you've got the mountainous terrain of Hafengar. And then you've got Dawnstar, which is like cold. And then you have Winterhold, which is really cold. And then you've got like Northern Eastmarch, which blends into that. It makes exploring like different areas fun because there's different things to look at. Whereas in a lot of Oblivion, it's like trees, 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 more trees. Even though from zone to zone, like when you're in Leyawiin, the trees look different, but they're still just trees. When you're in the Great Forest, it's still just trees. When you're in Anvil, that's probably where the game looks the most different. But Oblivion doesn't have as varied of terrains, I think. Okay, I'm going to read through this really quick.
The people of Anvil are worms. How dare they criticize what they don't understand? I shall have my vengeance in a form they cannot possibly imagine. I shall use the souls of the departed to prolong my own life. The tome is very specific. I must have more bodies. Yes, more bodies. I must protect myself from those meddlers. They shall not interfere in my designs. I have constructed a room in the basement of this manor. It is there I will enter my corporeal self, and I will transcend this plane of existence. Only a true-blooded Benerus may open the portal, so if I fail, however unlikely that may be, a descendant may attempt to follow in my footsteps to carry on the true way. To make sure our secret is safe, I have harnessed the spirits of those whose bodies I have defiled to forever guard that place. The fools think I don't hear them speaking. I can hear their rumor and innuendo. They intend to meddle in powers they can barely comprehend. They call me an old fool and shun me. The young dare each other to step 1 foot in my yard. I have become the stuff of old wives' tales and campfire stories. They dismiss me as an oddity, but soon they will see. When all of Anvil lies in waste around me, when their corpses litter the streets and their blood dampens the earth, only then will my true power be known and feared. Evil mustache twirling. I'll continue the rest of the stream this way, yes. The Benerus Manor ghosts, of course, are doing the job just as I intended. Defending the manor, although they simply can't tell that it's me. Yes, thank you, Benerus Manor ghosts. Where's the next one? Ah, it's up above. A+ reading, thank you. I like to pride myself on my ability to read. So last time that we streamed, I was talking about, or no, actually, this was, I'm getting my conversations mixed up. This was a conversation I was having with a friend of mine the other day. So I work in a school, and I push into classrooms because I like help out in classrooms as a parapro, and sometimes I substitute teach as well. So there's this one teacher that we hired recently. She's very new. She's a year younger than I am, and she was teaching 3rd grade. And if she ever sees this video, I am so sorry. But she was not very good at teaching teaching the 3rd grade. And I walked in there so many times, and she would just be like struggling reading stuff. There's another woman that came in to substitute teach one time. I had to like correct her on reading a couple of words in Jack and Annie books to kindergartners. I don't know, it's always been like weird to me, like if you're gonna, like, reading is a skill. Reading is a skill that you learn over time. You get better the more that you read out loud. But like, I don't know, if you're gonna be substitute teaching, and also if you're like 50, like, you should know you should know how to read stuff a little bit better. Thought that I was a lot older than you. It's actually funny, when I was a kid, I was in an ESO guild. I unfortunately can't remember the name of that guild at this point, because it's been so long. But I remember they were an 18+ guild. They were like, if you guys were, if you ever played ESO, like there was the Ebonheart Pact, the Daggerfall Covenant, and the Aldmeri Dominion. And I was Ebonheart Pact back in the day. I still tend to play Ebonheart, but back then it was region locked. You made a new character, and so I was trying to level up my my stealth skills in that game, and so I was thieving with this guy,
that I just met randomly in zone chat because ESO on console actually has zone chat. So I was talking with him, and then he invited me to the guild, and I was 14 years old at the time, and I got inducted into an 18+ guild because I've had a deep voice for a long time, and generally
You're a sneaky looking
talk like a
sort.
person that's like 5 years older than me. So yeah, they inducted me in their gang, and they never knew. They never knew that I was just a 14-year-old boy.
I'm listening. Please,
Where is
go ahead.
my man here? Oh yeah, I gotta talk to people.
Didier O'Malley, a ship's clerk. At present, I'm spending my time and gold on the pleasures of the Gold Coast. As soon as you bought the place, he pretty much up and left. I hear tell he's making his way to the Imperial City.
Yep. One time in elementary school, we had a sub come in, and he literally did not give a fuck. He didn't teach us at all and said we could do whatever we want. He was removed from the classroom and replaced, but I never noticed it. I don't think he was a good person in hindsight, if you know what I mean. Yeah, okay. I don't know if I told this story last time I was on stream, so you'll have to remind me if I did, because I've been telling a lot of stories lately.
I'm an old war veteran.
But did I tell you guys about the gym teacher that subbed? Like, this would have been like 4 or 5 months ago at this point. But, yeah, I don't know if I told you guys that story.
I'm surprised to see you all the way out here in the Imperial City. So, you think I'm responsible? I suppose you're right, as the manor used to belong to my grandfather, Lorgren Beneris. I knew there was a curse on that place, which is why I sold it to you so cheap. I suppose I should have warned you, but I had to get out of Anvil. My family said I could move here to the Imperial City once all our loose ends were tied down. The manor was one of those loose ends. I fear my own greed got the better of my judgment. I hope you weren't hurt badly in that horrible place. I suppose I assumed you'd be able to lift the curse and be done with it. Lorgren Beneris was a strange old man, always dabbling and experimenting with magic. He was mostly harmless, until the fateful day he came across a tome bearing the evil magic of necromancy. He became obsessed, and decided that by using necromancy, he could prolong his own life. The dark arts contained in the tome called for him to dig up the recently deceased in the nearby crypts under the cathedral. When it was discovered that he did this, the Mages Guild called for a quick meeting to decide what to do. It only took minutes to decide. Led by a young upstart named Carahil, the Mages Guild stormed Beneris Manor and slew Lorgren. However, amid the chaos, his body vanished. Because of this, the people of Anvil concluded the manor must be cursed. You are the first person to set foot inside in a long time.
Cool.
According to the diary entry, it seems that I'm the only one who can open the secret door in the manor, and I can't help feeling slightly guilty selling you the place under these circumstances. I'll meet you in Anvil at the Count's Arms. From there, we'll try to lift the curse together. I'll see you in
Okay, so, story about the gym teacher. So I'm a parapro, if anyone doesn't know what that means. I basically work with children who have special needs. And so, the one boy that I worked most closely with this year was a kindergartner who was on the spectrum. And that's all that I can really say. But, very sweet kid, loved working with him, just like, absolutely one of the funniest, honestly smartest kids I've ever worked with. So, I'm talking with a woman who works with him, like, from
Warm day to you, friend.
the greater, like, on like more of a state level, like educator level, because she would like check in with me. And so I was talking with her, we walk into gym class with him, and he was pretty independent, so like he just sort of sat down. He's not really a part of the story. He was totally fine. Anyway, I'm talking with her, And then I look over and we got a sub in gym class because the teacher that was our normal gym teacher, she got pregnant and she had her kid, so she was on maternity leave. So we had all these different subs in. And we had this dude, he must have been like 60 something, came over to me, and I actually knew this guy because he and I had subbed in the district before. Before I was a parapro, I'd actually subbed in buildings with him before. He's a nice enough guy. But I go into class, and he's holding the sub plans in his hand. Keep in mind, this is 6 hours into the day or something like that. Like, he'd been there a while. He's looking at the sub plans, and he's like, "Hey, man, take a look at this. You know what any of this is?" And so I look at it, and I'm like, no. And it's not really my job right now to know. In my head, I'm like, you've been here 6 hours. You should know what the sub plans say, dude. And so he walks into the back room while I'm still chit-chatting with this woman. And he comes out with a big old bag of Frisbees. They were foam Frisbees, to his credit. But he brings out this big old bag of Frisbees to a class of kindergartners. He drops them on the ground, and he says verbatim, "We're doing Frisbees."
Crisis is over.
And then he just let all the kids run over and start grabbing Frisbees out of this bag. And so I'm talking with this woman, and there's Frisbees flying around the gym. And so I'm like, I sort of like, her and I are looking up, and again, the Frisbees are foam. The kids aren't going to hurt anybody, but they are flying around. And it's like, I walk over to this dude, and I'm like, can I see those sub plans? And I excuse myself from talking with this woman. And I look at the sub plans. So, for one, the sub plans had nothing to do with Frisbees. And for two, all that the game was, that he was supposed to set up, was... Do you guys know those, like, little wiffle ball things? Where you can, like, put a wiffle ball in them? They're like catchers, like plastic catchers. And you can throw the wiffle ball in those. All this guy was supposed to do was set up little plastic dots on the floor. And he was supposed to give those kids a wiffle ball catcher and just let them play catch with those. That's all he had to do. He could not figure that out. And so I start setting up the whole thing. I'm like, "Do you mind if I just do this?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, man, go for it." So I set up the whole game. I know this class very well because I've been working with this kid all year long, so I know all the kids in class. I use my big voice. I not yell, but, I shout to the kids. I'm like, "All right, put your Frisbees away. Come over here." Got the whole game set up. And then the principal, as I get everything set up, the principal, she comes to the door and she knocks on the door. And I see her, and she sort of like gives me like the index, or not, yeah, like index finger, like, like come here type thing. So I'm like, oh shit. So I walk over to the door, and then I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" And I step out of the gym for a moment. And she's like, "Hey, has the sub said anything inappropriate?" And I was like, no. He's barely said anything at all. In fact, I'm teaching the class right now. And then she's like, "Oh, okay, that's good." She was like, "Well, I have reports that he said something inappropriate to some third graders earlier, so you're going to have to take over the class." And I was like, "Okay." And in my head, I'm like, "Oh, I shook this guy's hand earlier. I don't know what's going on with him." And the thing you got to understand about the principal at my school is that she uses language in a very weird way. Like, she can never be direct with stuff. So what had happened was, he told some third graders, he told this third grader that was annoying him that he was gonna shove him in the closet if he didn't listen to him. And that was... Oh, and then he called some kid stupid or something like that. Okay, this guy is like 60-something. He didn't say anything creepy. He didn't say anything weird. Well, he said some weird stuff, but he didn't say anything like where all of our heads went when I said inappropriate. Oh, my game crashed. Where all of our heads went when she said inappropriate, that's not what he did. He just said some weird old man shit. So, like, she freaked me the hell out, though. When she said that, because I was like, oh my god, what did this guy do? But he's still the only substitute teacher that I've ever seen get kicked out of a school. And then, like, she had to go walk up to him and be like, yeah, you're not, you can't be here anymore today. Because you can't tell kids to shut up, no matter how much they're bothering you, you know? But then the craziest thing that I heard was that the next day, he was scheduled to work at the middle school in my district. So he shows up to the middle school as a parapro sub, because, like, sometimes, you know, if a kid is, like, needs a parapro, then parapros get subs. So he was subbing in for a parapro, was not with his student, again, a special needs student. I don't know what the kid's accommodations were, but he was not with the student. And I guess he was in he was in a teacher's class, and he found their candy drawer, and he started eating what I was told handfuls of candy in this teacher's class. And so from that point on, this was the next day, he got totally kicked out of the district. He is not allowed to sub in our district anymore, which is insane. This dude is hilarious. Yeah, he's kind of the best. I used to teach an extracurricular activity, and I'll never forget the day I had to tell kids to stop doing the renegade TikTok dance. I felt so old in that moment. Yeah, I have kids constantly coming up to me, and they're like, hey, do this. And then they'll do, like, the mewing thing, where they're like, hey, put your finger on your chin and do this. And I'm like, guys, I'm not that much older than you. I'm like, I know what you're trying to get me to do. I'm not going to do it.
I'm ready as
But,
I'll ever
like,
be.
to a kid, like, you're, like, so much older than them, you know? You're, like, ancient.
Then let's get this over with. I don't relish the thought of spending too long inside of the manor. Follow me.
Literally walked out of Family Guy, yeah. No, I mean, like, in my head, I'm like, it was really funny. Like, dealing with it firsthand was really funny. But, like, the receptionist at the school that I work at, she's one of my favorite people ever. She's so funny. And so I was talking with her about that guy, and she's the one who told me about what happened with him eating candy. And I, like, lost my mind. I, like, keeled over laughing, hearing that story of this dude just, like, totally abandoning his responsibilities and eating, like, shoveling candy into his mouth. It's the most insane thing I've ever heard. I think I thought it was funnier than anyone else did. Because, like, a lot of the teachers that I work with have, like, an extraordinary amount of sympathy for the, like, stuff that I do and whatnot. But, like, because I sub and I'm a parapro, which is, like, a double whammy. But honestly, I like subbing. To an extent. It depends on the class. But, yeah, for the most part, I'm okay with it. I mean, if you're 30, you're literally twice as old as someone that's 15. Right, I mean, I'm 25. But, like, the whole idea of, like, for instance, there were some kids where, like, when I first started teaching, like, or when I first got into, like, working with kids, I was 17. And, like, working with, like, 6th graders at that point, like, that's a 5 to 6 year age difference. Because they're, like, 12 and you're, like, 17. And it's, like, I remember explaining to these kids, I'm like, we probably watched the same cartoons, you know? Like when you start teaching when you're young, it's, like, a very weird thing. Like, even still with, like, the 5th graders that I work with, it's, like, I'm 15 years older than them, but, like, or 14, 15 years older than them. But it's, like, you're still old enough to relate to the kids. And that's the thing where, like, I think if you get to a certain age, when you are, like, not able to relate to the children that you're working with anymore, then that's when you should probably retire, you know? And some people can relate to kids until they're dead, you know? Like, being young is kind of a mentality, I feel. Like, my dad is 64 years old, and I'm like... I don't know, I mean, he's starting to look more like 64. But I've never thought of my dad as, like, an old person. If that makes sense. Because he doesn't really carry himself like an old person. When I started teaching band/guard, I had students that were a year younger than me. I got mistaken for a student a couple times. Yeah, when I first started subbing, I subbed in a high school class because I always thought like high school was like a place where I would want to teach because you do like more advanced subjects there. But when I showed up to the class, I was like, I was 22 or 23, and because I come from like a small town too, and I was subbing in the district that I graduated from, I knew so many of the kids there. Like, I used to work at a soup restaurant, and they used to hire high school kids all the time. So like, I worked with some high schoolers when I was like in my 20s. And I saw some of those kids there that, like, formerly were my coworkers in the class I was subbing in. It was so uncomfortable. As soon as you start thinking anything along the lines of these damn kids nowadays, you should probably not work with children. Yeah, it's like... I don't know. I've had some teachers in the past where I'm like, you definitely don't like working with kids. You just work here for the... Well, I don't know why you would be a teacher if you don't like kids, but... You gotta have sympathy for children. Like, they literally don't know what the fuck they're doing. Okay, this says the first, the last. In Daedric. Kids are awful these days, especially. Some kids are. There's some kids that are.
And I desire the chance to atone for my sins. The things I've done to the people of Anvil, the horrible, unspeakable acts I've committed, demand repentance. Dareloth was justified in his actions. Slaying me was the only way to stop the madness. I have accepted that fate. Now, so I may make my final peace with the Nine, please rejoin my hand to my body. Only then, when I am complete, will this eternal nightmare end.
Okay, real quick, I need to load this save in the basement. And I need to go back real quick, because I want to use some of that dialogue in my Oblivion Remastered review, actually. Trying to not run out of stamina because I don't want to fall over again. Alright, make a save here. Personally, I love talking to kids as long as you treat them like actual human beings deserving of respect. They're so fun to yap with. Oh yeah, for sure. Subbed middle school math for like a week during COVID. The first and last time. Subs are so long suffering, but it's a no from me, dog. I mean, subbing is a tough job, honestly. It's not like it's not the easiest thing in the world. Subs are in high demand. Okay, listen to this again.
And I desire the chance to atone for my sins. The things I've done to the people of Anvil, the horrible, unspeakable acts I've committed.
Most kids are sweet, IMO, they just don't understand consequences yet. Yeah, I mean, kids don't understand much of anything. You think about a kid that's been alive, like, kindergartners have only been alive for 5 years. And of those 5 years, like, the first 3 are, like, you can't even remember half the shit you do. You don't really start forming memories for a long time. So, like, a 5-year-old kid is, like, it's like they just spawned. They don't know shit. You can't really get that mad at a kid. Like, if they're not listening repeatedly, like, then yeah, it's kind of annoying. But, like, you gotta cut kids some slack, especially when they're, like, really young. Even, like, a 10-year-old, like a 5th grader, it's like, yeah, they should know better, but, like, their brains aren't fully developed, you know? They're they don't know anything.
You've assisted me in completing the very thing Carrihill and his cabal sought to prevent all those years ago. My ascension to immortality. Last time I clashed with mortals, I underestimated their power. I shall not repeat that mistake twice. I live again.
Here we go. I can't believe that the evil guy that they locked away for being so evil was not being genuine when he told me he wanted to stop being evil. That's crazy. That's a cool effect. Yeah, I don't need the book, I suppose. Ever get that feeling you wasted your life trying to be a good person but missed out and it's over now anyways? I mean, that is rough, but not necessarily feel like I've wasted time. Like, I don't know, as long as you're doing something with the stuff that you do on a daily basis, I guess. Like, that's the one thing that I started trying to do is, like, I enjoy video games. I went to college. I've got this degree in history, but I'm not using it, so I might as well combine those two things, my useless college degree and Elder Scrolls and video games, and try to turn that into something. So work with what you got, I guess, is my advice.
I'm sorry for running away like that, but fear got the best of me. I'm glad you talked me into coming with you. Now that the curse has been lifted, I feel like I've taken care of my family's unfinished business. Excellent work, my friend. May the manor give you many years of happiness. I'm now off to the Imperial City once more. Farewell.
Okay. Maybe a child-free woman, but there's nothing I hate more than people who treat children like property or pets, who don't have their own thoughts, emotions, and wants, and force children to do things. Yeah, that's a big thing that I'm very much against, is, like, forcing kids into stuff. Like, when I was younger, granted, I like baseball now that I'm older, But when I was younger, my mom and dad made me do baseball. And I hated it when I was a kid. I played baseball up until 5th grade. And I hated going to practice. Felt like a waste of my time. I just wanted to go home and like color and draw and stuff. And like going to baseball practice and all these games was like, I fucking hated that as a kid. I would cry. And then... band. I got forced to do band. Told my mom I was not interested in band. And then she made me play the saxophone for a year. Hated that. It's terrible. Like, being forced to do stuff that you don't want to do is awful. And people forget, like, it's hard to be a kid. Like, you think about, like, yeah, you don't really have, like, responsibilities in that sense, but, like you don't have to, you know, go to work or anything like that. But really, like, kids do go to work. Like, I always tell the kids, school is your job when you're younger. And, like, especially, like, kids who are at school, it's like, look, you don't really have a choice in being here or not. So, you might as well do the best job that you can while you're here. You know? Like, you gotta understand how little autonomy kids have. They really do just get, like, dragged around by their parents to different places. Yeah, or like my mom and dad used to, like, they would want to go somewhere, and they'd be like, hey, do you want to go to breakfast? I'd be like, cool, 'cause I fucking love breakfast. So I'd go out to breakfast with my mom and dad, and then on the way back, it would be like, oh, by the way, we need to go to the store. I'd be like, are you fucking serious? Like, and then I'd have to go to the store with my mom and dad instead of going home and doing what I wanted to. And yeah, that shit is so annoying. Marching band is either the best or the worst thing you will ever experience in life if you do it, so I get it. Well, I wasn't even in marching band, it was just middle school, it was 6th grade. I just did not enjoy... I didn't like the band teacher. I played saxophone, so like I did not like the saxophone section. My saxophone broke a lot, and it was like rusty, so it was a rental. Just bad. Just all around a bad experience. So, 7th grade I quit. But my mom was coming at it from the angle of like my mom and dad really didn't force me to do that much. But like, my mom did not get a lot of opportunities when she was younger. Like, she didn't get to play an instrument, and I think she wanted to. She didn't get to go to college. It's part of the reason that I went to college, is because my mom was like, I went to community college for my first, for my associate's degree. Because I was like, I'm not going to college, what am I going to use that for? And so, yeah, now we're here. But, it was sort of the sunk cost fallacy where I was like, well, I've got an associate's degree already. But yeah, my mom wanted me to do that because she didn't get a chance to. So, yeah, I don't know. Moral of the story, kids don't have that much autonomy. Fun fact, I performed on band day in the Rose Bowl in high school. Nice. It's very cool. You know, a quest that I wanted to do in the Shivering Isles. I remember liking this one. But I also was reading up on Oblivion Remastered bugs today. And I saw this quest pop up. So, I don't know. Has Vermina's quest been done? We did all the Daedric quests a while back. Yeah, life definitely has ups and downs.
Die, fanatic!
Okay. I'm being attacked by this thing?
Hit me once more and I'll kill you!
like a back door that we can enter? Do you guys have a favorite group or band? Yeah, here. Or singer, or anything like that? I listen to tons and tons of music. Iodine 9. Hey, this is my first live stream, but I listened to your videos on my way to work, and I quite enjoyed them. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, you're welcome. Thanks for stopping by the live stream. Okay, so I guess this is the bug. Yeah. Seems to be it. I need to outspace these guys. Yeah, dude, these guys are straight up invisible.
Vythorn shall fall.
Okay, I can see when the arrow comes out. What? This is an insane bug. What is wrong with the Shivering Isles? What is wrong with it? This is crazy. The Shivering Isles, like, I've seen so many people saying that the Shivering Isles is, like, bad. And I'm like, I don't know, I feel like they're, like, first-time Oblivion players with the remaster. And if you just played the remaster, yeah, the Shivering Isles is bad. Like, it's genuinely a worse experience than the original. Okay, I'm gonna sneak through. Yeah, I don't know why it's not fixed yet. This game's been out for 2 months, like. Oh my god. Okay, genuinely, I saw Vytharn was on. I'm not doing this. This is so bad. This is so bad. Yeah. That's really terrible. No, I saw that this was on the bug list, and I was not playing this to try to experience the bug. I was trying to play that because that is a cool quest. For anyone who doesn't know what that quest is, there's like a bunch of ghosts that have been murdered in a like siege that keeps replaying itself, and you have to like resolve some stuff. It's cool. It's a cool quest, but damn, that sucks.
Speak while the sands are warm.
Yeah, bugs are a feature in the Shivering Isles. You're an OG Shivering Isles diehard, but this feels unplayable. Yeah, I think that, like, I think the OG Shivering Isles is great. Only recorded in the game. Tried playing it, and it was so sigh. I'm waiting for Sky Oblivion at this point. The bugs I pointed out day one are still aren't fixed. Yeah, there's a lot of bugs in this game. It introduced, I think, more bugs than it fixed. I think it's goofy that just using FOV is enough to disable achievements. Yeah, there's a lot of, like, weird stuff like that in this game. I actually have one achievement left on Steam, I think. And it's kind of that annoying one. Let me see. I've got one achievement left on Steam. The achievement is to go and kill Syl instead of Thetan, because we killed Thetan. Became the Duke of Mania instead of the Duchess of Dementia. Saddens me how genuinely terrible Remastered Shivering Isles is. How do you manage to bastardize literally one of the most loved DLCs in gaming? Yeah, like, Shivering Isles had such a popular, positive opinion until, like, this year. I've seen people being like, Shivering Isles actually isn't that good. I'm like, oh, really? But, yeah, when you've played it on Oblivion Remastered, it's, like, kinda shit. So, I don't know. It's weird. Are you going to do more videos going more into depth about magic and tests, vis-a-vis the polls you put out, or were those cut out, or were those cut and the current vid will be a one-off? I did that one magic video to investigate the magic systems because I was curious about it. If I get the bug to investigate further stuff in the magic system, then I totally will. Or if channel members vote on that. So the way that I do, like, basically I have my big lore videos that come out, and those are like the 40-minute plus ones that take a long time to research, like the magic one that just came out. Those are chosen by my channel members. So I do a poll that is exclusive to Master Thief tier channel members or higher. And I usually do like 4 things, because I've got a big, like, I'm trying to think of the word here, like, I've got a big notepad page, basically, of Elder Scrolls ideas that I would like to do in the future for videos. So I pull, like, 4 video ideas, and then I let Master Thief tier channel members vote on those. So we just voted on the new project. That's going to be kind of a big one about Riemann Cyrodiil and the Akaviri Potentate. So for anyone who doesn't know, Cyrodiil was ruled by the Akaviri for quite some time. And it was called the Akaviri Potentate. And this is sort of like the years leading up to the Elder Scrolls Online. That was like before ESO was the Akaviri Potentate. So it's a very interesting time. I haven't seen it covered a whole lot. That's one thing that I'd like to tackle with my channel as well, are topics that I haven't seen covered by other people. Usually before I have a video idea, I do a quick little like Google search to see if anyone else has covered that before. And because I don't like to retread old ground. So yeah, to answer your question, I would love to look more into the magic stuff. People seem to take issue with the way that I described Souls of Daedra and soul trapping Daedra specifically. So maybe we could tackle soul trapping at some point, and like the Soul Cairn and the Ideal Masters is something that I've been eyeballing as well. So one day, I got a lot of Elder Scrolls ideas, and then I've got other projects that I want to work on too. A lot of Pillars of Eternity stuff that I need to do at some point, because I have that one Pillars video on my channel, and I like that video a lot, but they don't get a lot of views, so they get pushed further down on the totem pole. Okay. Do we have anything else here? How do you reconcile with all these familiar things we love losing their familiarity, like any IP today? All the remakes and reimaginings seems like sacrilege. The Oblivion remaster to me has kept a lot of the, you know, similar atmosphere. So if you're talking about that in particular, I don't mind. But like just in general, I think that corporate, just everything, it has ruined a lot of creativity and artistry and stuff. Like I've heard good things about Andor. I don't think I'll watch another Star Wars product again for like my entire life. My roommate is really into Star Wars. He's like big into Star Wars Battlefront 2 right now, because it was on sale for the Steam Summer Sale for like $4. And I will be playing that with him soon. But like as far as the movies go and like the TV shows and stuff for Star Wars, for example, like it's just a brand at this point. Star Wars is a brand. It's not like the original trilogy anymore, you know? And I feel like even if a good product comes out every once in a while, like Andor, Star Wars is there to make sales for Disney. It is no longer an artistic IP. So that's the one thing with Elder Scrolls that I'm hoping is like, I'm hoping is good about this being like I think that Elder Scrolls fans overestimate sometimes how like popular Elder Scrolls is, because I would say it's not that popular. Like the Oblivion remaster was a big deal for people, but I don't think that broadly like the Elder Scrolls is a popular series. I think Skyrim was popular, and like ESO is a popular MMO, but I don't know if broadly Elder Scrolls is a popular brand. Okay, let's see. Battlefront 2 is incredible. If they make it pay to win or cosmetic based more than it already is, I'll be so grumpy. Yeah, I've heard really good things. I played Battlefront 1, so I'm excited to play 2. Because I think Star Wars has a good universe. I enjoy the universe. But like, I think that it's been turned into a, you know, it's been turned into something that's sad to watch. I haven't caught up with any gaming news, but if the reception to Avowed's release is anything to go by, I'm a bit pessimistic about the Pillars franchise future. Well, Avowed... Here's the big deal with Avowed. Avowed is a game that was marketed extraordinarily poorly. Avowed is a game that got turned into a different game during its development cycle. And Avowed is a game that makes you think that you're going to be playing as a character, when really, makes you think that you're going to be like a player insert character, when really you are playing as a pre-established person in the world, which kind of gets back to the whole Avowed was mismarketed thing. Basically, like, Avowed, you will not enjoy Avowed if you are not already a Pillars fan, which is why it is crazy to me, and it's also another businessman in a boardroom idea, that Avowed got so much marketing and hype from Xbox, because Avowed is like okay. I gave it a 6.5 out of 10 in my review. It's all right, you know. And as far as depth of storytelling goes, like, yeah, Avowed has a deeper plot going on than like Skyrim does, but like Skyrim's plot is the plot of Skyrim is not very well fleshed out in that game. You know, you'd be crazy to say that like the main quest of Skyrim is high art or anything. Like, at least with Avowed, it's got a story to tell, and it's dealing with some philosophical ideas. Like, I don't really want to spoil it for people, because I don't really like spoiling the Pillars franchises for people, but like, Avowed's at least got some interesting ideas going on. So I can respect Avowed. What I don't think they should have done, though, is make Avowed like their flagship game for a little bit there. Because, I mean, even like when you go to see like Xbox ads, it's like you see the Avowed artwork on everything. It's like, this should not be someone's first Pillars of Eternity game. Their first Pillars of Eternity game should be Pillars 1. Because you're going to be really confused if you jump into Avowed. Star Wars is like McDonald's of fiction to me. Well, yeah, I mean, Star Wars like has become that. I think there was a point in time where it wasn't, but it pretty quickly, like even under George Lucas, you know, he was always about like making toys and making a profit off of Star Wars. So I don't know if Star Wars hasn't been high art since like Empire or Return of the Jedi. I would really love to have a Morrowind remake, because I love the setting and the lore. I just cannot enjoy playing it. Oblivion shows it can be done. I just hope they don't go too crazy with remakes. I don't want a Morrowind remake. I don't think it's necessary. I think a Morrowind plays fine. Oblivion played like dog shit. As someone who loves Oblivion, Oblivion played like dog shit. Yeah, merchandising. IMO, I feel like the TES IP holds a lot of weight just because of the longevity of Bethesda and TES being a series that made them a successful company. So I would agree that TES made them a successful company, but I think that when you go 14 years in between games, like, you'll never hear somebody refer to Skyrim as Elder Scrolls V unless they're an Elder Scrolls fan. Skyrim is Skyrim to a lot of people. Skyrim's not an Elder Scrolls game. Skyrim is Skyrim. Which is part of the reason I think that Bethesda, like, instead of marketing the Elder Scrolls as a series, they just marketed Skyrim stuff for the longest time. It's like, I don't know, it's a sad trend that was happening with them. Although I think Oblivion Remastered has shown that there's broader interest in Elder Scrolls than maybe they would have thought. Although I'd play Morrowind Remaster, it is not needed at all. Same with Daggerfall. They're perfect in their forms. Just get Unity or OpenMW if you want to mod it. Yeah, that's the thing with, like, Oblivion came out at a weird time. Because Morrowind functions within, like, the parameters of that game. Like, I've always said, check out Lyle Schnub. He's got Morrowind tutorials that'll teach you the gameplay mechanics. Once you know those mechanics, Morrowind becomes a very easy to understand game, because it's all dice rolls. And there's formula, you have to keep your fatigue high and stuff like that, but there's, like, formula involved with pretty much everything you do in Morrowind. And there's ways to, like, tweak your percentage chances based on your fatigue bar and stuff, so... Morrowind works perfectly fine for what it's trying to do. I've never understood people that mod Morrowind to, like, make it so that way you take out all the dice rolls and you just, like, insta-hit stuff, because it's like, that's not how the game was designed to be played. So, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't want them to do that, but with Oblivion, Oblivion came out at a weird time. It had a huge level scaling problem, and the gameplay of base Oblivion, it's just, like, not really... Like, here's what would happen in base Oblivion. Imagine that this rock is an enemy. So I would take my turn to swing. Swing, 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 maybe get 3 hits in, and then an enemy would block. And if I hit their block, then I would stagger. And then the enemy would get chances to hit me, and then I would block. And then I would get, like, 2 hits on them, and then I'd block. 2 hits. Boom. And this was basically the gameplay loop of base Oblivion. Love Lyle, that's my boy. Yeah, Lyle is the man. I'd love to, like... One thing that I've wanted to do, I don't know if you guys know who Ratatosker is, but he's got a podcast within the FromSoft community called the Yggdrasil podcast. And I would love to start, like, an Elder Scrolls version of that. I don't know how many people I could get to talk to me, because I feel like I'm kind of a... a not great person to be like, hey, come talk with me, the guy who, like, openly criticizes Bethesda. But I would love to have something like that in the Elder Scrolls community. Yeah, give it a shot with mods and check out the explainer videos. Yeah, check out Lyle Schnub, Morrowind Explained. He's something like that. He's got a lot of really good videos that explain the systems. I call every Flame Atronach Francine because of that, man, as you should. Missing every hit and dying to an actual worm is a part of my love of Morrowind. A ton of risks and stakes to explore. Yes. Oblivion deserves a remaster, but give me Test 6 already. Yeah. And that's like the thing with the Oblivion remaster, though, is that, like, a lot of the mechanics in Oblivion just didn't really work well. So I think of all the Elder Scrolls games, like, it made sense to remaster this one. And one thing that I saw people saying immediately after the Oblivion remaster was like, alright, when are we getting the Skyrim remaster? Which is a joke to some people. But I think other people actually were, like, serious about that. It's like, dude, there's... Like, I would say that it's like 99% memes. but like also don't give Bethesda ideas. You know, we do not need a Skyrim remaster ever. That game works totally fine. Yeah, Lorecast I think would be fun. The Emmer Dareloth experience, yeah. Just remaster Skyrim yourself with mods. Yeah, I mean, that's what most people do anyway. Man, I really am trying to think of like a quest that I want to do in Oblivion right now. But sadly, I don't really like have one that I want to do. Go find the sunken one. The new leveling is such a game changer, but with it in place, we definitely need to keep difficulty as a slider. Yeah, I've like... I don't know how I feel about the new leveling system, because in my mind, the leveling system was never the problem with base game Oblivion. I never had an issue with it. The main thing that I had an issue with was the level scaling. Like, enemies were scaled too high. And they still, like, they didn't really truly fix that. Enemies still spawn with Daedric and glass armor and stuff. They put a band-aid on it because it's less intense, but yeah, I mean, enemies still spawn with, like, crazy shit. But yeah, that was always my issue with the base game. So them making it so that way like your minor skills will level you up feels a little wrong to me as a longtime Oblivion player. Like when I started getting like my minor skills leveling me up, I was like, ooh, it doesn't feel right. I'm supposed to stick to my class. But it's convenient, I will say. Had an idea for a lorecast called the Sijic Roundtable. Ooh, I like that. It's a good name. Wonder what they'll do regarding spellcrafting and class systems in Test 6. That is a good question. That I have no idea. I hope they bring classes back to some extent. My one buddy, he had only ever played Skyrim. He's actually never beaten Skyrim. He just does a lot of like he'll get to like level 36 doing some random bullshit and then he makes a new character. And Skyrim's like one of his favorite games. He loves it. There's nothing wrong with that. And you know, I don't know. I always appreciate talking with him about Skyrim because he's like not as in it as I am. You know, it's very like cool to have a friend where I'm like, and I don't think he truly knows. I think he knows I have a YouTube channel. I believe I've told him. Like most of my friends know that I've got a YouTube channel. But like I don't think he truly knows like how deep in the lore I am because I just don't really talk with him about it that much. Because I don't really think it's as interesting to him. But yeah, it's cool having a friend that's just kind of like a very casual like player of the games, I guess. But he, to get more on track with why I brought that up, is because he went and played Oblivion Remastered, because he'd never played, and he's 5 years older than me, but he'd never played base game Oblivion, and he loved the class system. He actually has not made a custom class yet. I was like, dude, you gotta make a custom class. He was like, nah, I'm trying out the custom ones, or the pre-made ones already. I was like, oh, damn, like, you're the first person I've ever talked to that uses the pre-made classes, but that's awesome. And it really, like, puts into perspective for me, like, how many people are doing that? Like, there's, I don't know. We are in such a little bubble, like, as an Elder Scrolls community. You know, you get locked in, like, a little echo chamber where it's like, yeah, this is how you play the game. These are people that play the game this way. But there's tons of people out there, like my buddy, that just, like, are very casual fans that maybe hop on every once in a while, and they just enjoy playing the game, and then they log off. So, do you think remasters should stick to the original release of the game in terms of content, or add new features that weren't in the original? So here's what I think with Oblivion Remastered that was a major major miss with this game. I think they should have added content in this, but I think they should have added a couple things in particular. It really like tweaked some content that was already there. They should have added in the Black Horse Courier quest, because that would have been cool to see. And they already hired new voice actors, so they could have done that. And I think that they should have fixed Manamarco's boss fight, because it is terrible. I don't know why they didn't do that. If this is a remaster, it should have remastered the fight. But it feels like there's a lot of little stuff like that that got left out on the cutting room floor. And it just feels like another boardroom business suit guy thing. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think that you should stick as close to the original as possible, but if you can add stuff that was already in the original or make it better, then do that.
There many times.
He certainly
The brothers never failed.
We already got a Skyrim remaster. Yeah, we've gotten plenty of them. That's my biggest gripe with Bethesda design is the lack of replayability, because you can do everything in one single playthrough. Yeah, I was talking with someone recently who was like arguing about something. Something with like, you should be able to do everything in a single playthrough. I was like, are you crazy? Like, that takes away so much replayability. I wish they would have added Skyrim archery. I mean, if you haven't played base game Oblivion with archery, like, base game Oblivion archery is god-awful. They overhauled archery, like, big time in this game. Archery was terrible in regular Oblivion. Like, we did a playthrough on the channel, I don't know, like 6 months ago at this point. And I was like, hey, it'd be fun to play like a stealth character, and I'll try to make it a marksman, try to make it work. So bad. I had to use the duplication glitch to get arrows because it was nearly impossible.
Speak.
You own this 360 version, yeah, hell yeah. I think class identity and class fantasy are really helpful. Oh yeah, that's like one of the coolest things with D&D, is building classes and characters and stuff. Wouldn't everything in one campaign peddle a linear narrative? Easier to sell, easier to piece together for further games. Everything in one campaign. Oh, peddle a... yeah, peddle a linear narrative. You mean like... a linear narrative for your character? Like, I did the Dark Brotherhood Thieves Guild, all that, and that's the narrative for my character going forward? There's no love in Elder Scrolls anymore, it's a product. I think that, like, the mobile games feel very much like a product, but I don't know, we'll have to see what they do with the next game. I truly do feel like Oblivion Remastered, like, had some love put into it. I don't think that, like, I've seen people call this game slop, and I just don't have it in me to say that. Like, I'll call something slop if it's slop. I just don't necessarily see that with this. Now, I think the bugs are really disappointing in this. I think it's, like, there's some stuff that's problematic in this, for sure. But, it's not like it took these guys, like, a day and a half to make this, you know? I just think that they, like, a lot of stuff got overlooked, unfortunately. So, I don't know. It's getting trendy to call everything slop. Yeah, I think it is. I think for the repeatability, the fun comes from limiting... Oh, hey, M. Newman. Dareloth noticed me. Hype. Thanks for the $2, man. I think for the repeatability, the fun comes from limiting yourself to what would my character do. like you can do everything, but what would your character, or but would your character do these things? It's fun for my personality, or fun for me personally. Yes. No, I think the same thing. Like, I used to do, like, a run on one guy. Like, got one character that's going to do everything in the game.
Should you need something?
But I don't like doing that anymore. I like having, like, this guy's... like, kind of what we were talking about earlier. I like having characters where I'm like, I know that this guy does this after I boot off the game. Like, this guy's the leader of the Thieves Guild. Or this guy's the leader of the Dark Brotherhood or whatever. I am going to close down Oblivion for right now. Okay. You know, one thing, hopefully this doesn't, like, tank my internet, but I do want to boot up ESO really quick to show kind of my plan for this, and maybe some people will find this interesting. But like I said, I've been playing a lot of ESO over the past couple days. Peace out. Good night. I think people would rather believe that Bethesda sold out rather than consider the possibility that Starfield is legit the best they can do at this point. I haven't played Starfield. But Starfield felt like not their best work from just what I saw. I don't necessarily think that was on purpose. Like, did Bethesda release a shitty game on purpose? I don't think so. It doesn't make sense why you would do that. But I don't know if it was their best. Okay, let's see. So, current character is a Khajiit monk-esque type. Only clothes, bow, hand-to-hand. I play as devoted to Arcane, and I've been enjoying that a lot. Gotcha. Really want to get into ESO. Is there a good way to do that? What I have been doing with ESO for a long time now is I start up a character, and I try to get to max level as quickly as I can. And then I have a lot of fun playing around with, like, builds, because I think that ESO is... I was talking with a friend of mine about this. ESO is kind of like an MMO with Elder Scrolls Paint on it. Like, I would say ESO is a very solid MMO. Where it starts to crumble is when you treat it purely as an Elder Scrolls game. Because it's got really good Elder Scrolls stuff in here, and then it's got stuff where I'm like, ooh, not as good, you know? So that's kind of where I come at it from. ESO does have some stories that I think are worth playing, and that's kind of why I've been playing this game more. I guess I'll log on with my main here. But, like, exploration is really good in ESO as well, in terms of just, like, going around and seeing different locations. It's pretty good. Okay, so that is a lot of stuff on my screen all at once. I played the first bit of ESO like a year after it came out, and I enjoyed it, but no money for expansions, so RIP. Yeah, it's just like... So here's what I've got right now is I've got ESO Plus, so you get, like, all of the zones unlocked for 15 bucks, and then, like, if you just play consistently for that time, more portals farming? No, we're done with that. But if you just play everything like that you can in that time, you can get a lot out of this game. I will say that finding out that Jenna Marbles was a prolific ESO healer years ago was a wonderful experience. I did not know that. It's pretty cool. Just one of the goats. Yeah, but like I think that the thing with ESO is it's a mixed bag of content, because you got some people that say that it's complete shit, and then you got some people that say that it's like, I don't know, like corporate slop. And then you got other people that say that it's like the best MMO on the face of the earth, and other people love it, and it's a very polarizing game for people. I think that ESO's got some good and some bad, like everything else. You know, to say that it's purely dog shit or corporate or whatever, it's like, I don't think so. I think there's a lot of scummy shit in ESO though. The Crown Store, this whole thing is designed to steal your money. Blatantly. Like, there's stuff on the Crown Store that is meant to prey on people who don't know any better. Like, for instance, this utility page here, 250 crowns just to buy like an XP scroll, fortifying meal, this stuff. This is corporate. This is bad. This is meant to trick people. Now, I'm hoping most people don't spend money on this, but it's there. Buying scrolls to give you 50% XP for 1 hour. Like, this is MMO shit here. Because you can get a lot of this stuff for free in the game anyway, but they have options to buy it in the Crown Store. So this is the type of stuff you got to look out for when you play this game. But you don't need any of it. Unfortunately, ESO just makes me want to open up Final Fantasy 14. Just not as good of an MMO to me. That's fair. Isn't that every game? I wouldn't say it's every game. It might maybe like every MMO. MMO equals money sink at some point in time. Yeah. I could never get into MMOs because I feel like I would min-max the fun out of it. You know, I actually just made... Here, let me get off of this guy. I'll get off of my main. There's a character that I just put together because ESO did... they added subclassing, and that actually got me more interested in playing this again. Because, again, I'm like a big fan of the builds in this game. And so... this character, some of you might remember them from a long time ago. So this is Kala the Untold, and I did an ESO playthrough that lasted about 4 episodes. We did not get very far, but I created this character for that Let's Play. And I was playing as a Nord Arcanist, okay? And the whole story, I had a whole backstory behind this character, because I usually make backstories for my characters. And my backstory for Kala the Untold was that she was a villager from the Skull. I'll take her helmet off so you can see her face. But that she was a villager from the Skull who wound up having to make a deal with Hermaeus Mora to become a warlock of his. So that's where you've got like the Hermaeus Mora Arcanist stuff coming in. But because the Warden skill tree has Winter's Embrace for frost magic, I actually subclassed into that to give myself frost magic to make me feel like I was more from the Skull. So like this, I think people have had mixed opinions about the subclassing stuff. I think it's really good because it makes it so that way it's like more like an Elder Scrolls game where I don't have to min-max within my class. I can like do fun shit like that and change it up, you know. And there's like if you don't want to farm for gear or whatever, you don't have to. ESO is actually incredibly easy. Like if I go, I don't know, I'll just go walk around Vardenfell for a second, but like this character is a tank character, which means I don't really necessarily output a ton of DPS, but like I can go and kill stuff pretty easily. It's not like you need a, gamer degree to go kill random enemies. Now, it would help if your build is optimized, but like my first character ever on ESO was terrible. He used Sword and Shield as an offensive class, which Sword and Shield is a skill line that's meant for tanking in this game, but I didn't know that. And I was playing as a Templar, which is like they have a lot of magicka abilities that I was using, even though I was using a sword, which is a stamina based thing. So really, like, my whole build was just messed up. It was really bad. I was playing as a red guard as well, which I wasn't utilizing any of my racial passives. So it didn't make sense, but I had fun with it. And that was back when ESO was like harder too. So still going, just wrapped up your own live stream, uploading the VOD now. Nice. Games like this make me want to shut off the internet for everyone forever. Damn, dude. So late, glad you're still streaming. Yeah. I remember playing this years ago as a dark elf up in some snow place. Yeah, there's Bleak Rock Isle. It might have been where you started. But yeah, like if you hop on ESO, the biggest thing that I am pushing for lately is like ESO should be free. It should be a free to play MMO, and then if people want to I like Morrowind and ESO, I do too. I think ESO should be free, and then if people want to pay for DLC, they can. But like this is a 10-year-old game at this point. And a lot of the base game stuff is very outdated. So I personally do think that it should be free to play. I think it would bring in more players too. Because that entry fee is a big thing for a lot of people. But like, so the thing with ESO and why I think as an Elder Scrolls fan, it's important to at least keep up with ESO, because ESO has actually dictated the direction of modern Elder Scrolls. So ESO armors, for example, are the things that are showcased in artwork now. ESO locations, like load screens. I'll go to the Rift for a second. Okay. This load screen right here for Riften. Like, it's kind of what it looks like in Skyrim, but those little guys in the bottom with armor, like that's unique looking armor. So yeah, the art direction for ESO has dictated the way that the series looks going forward. If you think about like Elder Scrolls Legends cards in that game, which I use very frequently in my videos, Elder Scrolls Legends artwork was based off of Elder Scrolls Online armor and weapon sets, and the way that races look has been pretty much dictated by Elder Scrolls Online as well. The way that the zones look too, I think, is important for understanding how these places are likely going to look in future Elder Scrolls games too. Like architectural styles have been pretty much dictated by ESO for 10 years now. So as a test fan, I've always wanted to see Valenwood Somerset. If it were free, I'd love just walking around and looking at stuff. Yeah, and they've got like, none of these quests are going to change your life, but they've got like quests that you can play, in these zones that they're not very like intensive. They're not very intensive to play. Like, it might be daunting to think of ESO because it's like I just said, this character is kind of a tank character. But in reality, you don't need to worry about any of that. If you're just playing like ESO by yourself, just have a good time. You don't need to stratify into some advanced build or something like that. Just like pick an offensive ability and go fight some stuff. It's like, I don't know. You don't need a crazy build to just play the game. If you want to do like end game content, then yeah, you should kit yourself up with a better build. But like, I don't think it's necessary to completely optimize your entire setup, you know? PlayStation Store base game is $19.99. Then there's a 2025 edition for $80 that includes everything up to Season of the Worm Cult. I was like, you got me fucked up. I'll stay on PC. Cheaper one is base game. So here's another thing with that one. That $80 version is also a totally corrupt ploy because it's mismarketed. So it says, what it says is that it includes everything up to the Season of the Worm Cult. Well, what that means is that it includes all the chapters. So what you get with that is you get, so I'll go through really quick for people who are maybe unfamiliar with ESO. Base game ESO is this: Leakrock Isle, Eastmarch, The Rift, Stonefalls, Deshawn, Shadowfen, and Balfoyan. This is the Ebonheart Pact in base game ESO. Cyrodiil. This is base game ESO. Reaper's March, Malabal Tor, I always mispronounce that. Greenshade, Grotwood, Canarthy's Roost, Oradon. This is all base game ESO. Alakir, Stormhaven, Rivenspire, Glenumbra, Betnik, Stros Mackay. Those are all base game ESO zones. And Vardenfell has now been included in the base game. So you get all of this for just your standard Elder Scrolls Online experience. Chapters, then, are a horrible marketing thing that happened to ESO early on. So Vardenfell was the first chapter in 2017. And Vardenfell was actually good, I think. Vardenfell I enjoyed. It was just a one-time purchase of $40. You got the Vardenfell zone. You got this Halls of Fabrication trial here. You got a lot of content for that $40. Next, though, their next chapter was Somerset. And again, paid like $40. You got the whole thing. Got a trial, whatever. But it didn't sell well because Morrowind, I think, sold well because it was going back to Morrowind. It was a nostalgia bait. Somerset was very much its own thing. And so because of that, people didn't pay for it as much. So then they started doing these chapters in a very awful way, where it was a ton of money that you would have to spend, like $80 throughout a whole year to get the whole storyline. So you would pay for like Northern Elsewhere. This was a chapter. Okay. But then you'd have the dungeon DLCs that went along with it. That was 4 dungeons, each in packs of 2. So those were about $15. But on the Crown store, you can only pay for packs of 2,000 crowns, I think. So really it winds up being like around $40 for the dungeon DLCs. And then you have to finish out the storyline by going to Southern Elsewhere for the Elsewhere chapter, which is an additional like $20. So really it averages out to be like $80 or $90 for a single chapter going forward from that point. To get back to why I said that the $80 version is corrupt, is because if you pay for that $80 version, you're only getting the initial part of the chapter. So, sorry, I'm yapping a lot. My voice hurts. But you're only getting the initial part of the chapter. So if you pay for that, you're getting Northern Elsewhere. You're getting, I think, Blackwood. I think you'd get Blackwood, Northern Elsewhere, Westweald. Oh, sorry, Craglorn is also a base game. You get Western Skyrim. And I think that's it, if I'm not mistaken. But basically, you're missing out then on the second half of Elsewhere. You're missing out on the second half of Blackwood, which is the Deadlands. You're missing out on Fargrave, which is the second half of... Or no, this is also in that. You're missing out on... Oh, you get the Telvanni Peninsula as well. But you're missing out on the second half of a lot of these DLCs, is the point. And you're missing out on dungeons, and so when it says like you get all of the content, you actually don't. It's a sneaky way of them to be like, oh yeah, you get all of our chapters, but a chapter only means the first part of those. All right, peace out, Lorcan. Very stinky of them, yeah, for sure. So, I mean, if you're someone like me who's been playing this game since it came out, you just know these kinds of things, but yeah, that is an unfortunate part of the game. Okay. Log off of ESO. Dude, at the beginning of the stream, I was playing some music, and it accidentally was not the music that I wanted it to be. It was like some licensed stuff. What game has your favorite depiction of Nocturnal? I really like her in Skyrim, actually. That's probably my favorite version of her. And not just because of the way she looks. I like her representation in that game because she's very like... I like the sort of business structure that she has with the Nightingales. I think that's really cool. And I like her interactions with Carlia and with you as well. Because she's not really like, she doesn't do a whole lot in Oblivion when you talk with her in that game. Yeah, Mom Eternal. What's your favorite musical piece in Elder Scrolls? I really like, I mean, this one song here that I've got playing, Azura's Coast. This is from ESO. ESO has a lot of really good music. I don't know a lot of the songs by name, though, to be honest with you. I like a lot of Skyrim Skyrim songs. Reign of the Septums is really good. So, I don't know. All Elder Scrolls music is thoroughly pretty good. Secunda's Kiss. What game is that in? Been playing ESO on and off for 10 years. I took a break for the past 6 years and came back earlier this year. I think that I do something similar with ESO. I took a ton of time off from ESO. I've only gotten back into it recently because I like doing videos for it. Skyrim? Gotcha. Streets of Whiterun, but that's mainly because of Wings of Redemption. Wings of Redemption is so goddamn funny. The Oblivion just out in the world music is so nostalgic for me. Oh yeah, me too. I love Oblivion's soundtrack. It is unfortunate that Oblivion's music has been turned into like a meme to a lot of people. Yeah, and my in my Magic video, I put a clip of Wings of Redemption in there. Look here. Look, listen. Going offline does not stop it. Skyrim's whole soundtrack is my study playlist, getting me through law school. So good. I have trouble listening to music and studying at the same time. I have to, like, totally unplug myself from everything. I can only... It's a miracle I can, like, stream and talk at the same time. Like, I have to totally focus in when I'm doing something. Best battle music is Blood and Steel. I can't think of how Blood and Steel goes right now, but I know that's the Skyrim one. Wait, really? I gotta watch that now? Yeah, it's like... I forget where it's at. I was talking about how, like, I am getting a reputation for being an ESO hater in that video, actually. Because I've been shit-talking Athelia and the Gold Road and Necrom chapters. Actually, Gold Road is the first negative Steam review I've given something. Funnily enough. But yeah, I really hated those. So people have been, like, really in my Athelia thing, I've gotten a couple people like, oh, you just hate ESO so much, dude. I'm like, no, I don't. I've got a ton of time on ESO. So I put in that clip of Wings of Redemption. Being like, look here, look, listen. I don't know why Athelia is just objectively bad. Yeah, I had someone, like... I was going through comments, because on YouTube, YouTube will hide comments that it finds offensive, and then you have to go check them manually yourself. And I forget to do that sometimes. And those comments are automatically deleted after 60 days. So... there's some comments that have just been lost to the void. But I was like, I'll go through and check those really quick. Because sometimes YouTube does, like, censor somebody for saying the word shit or something like that, and I don't really care about that. So, like, I'll release those comments. But, like, there was one comment on my Athelia video that was like... Because I named the video, like, how Athelia ruined everything. And this one person commented, and they were like, oh my god, you little whiny bitch, she didn't ruin anything. Shut the fuck up. This is why I don't subscribe to you. You're such a complainer. I was like, alright. If you want to die on the hill that Athelia is cool, then you can die on that hill. The Morrowind soundtrack is really good too. I'm banning anyone trying to give me advice. Wheel torque. Air. Liquid Richard. I don't know much about ESO or that plot, but in your video, I was shocked by the, like, blatant lore problems that even a lore noob like me noticed immediately. Yeah, it's just, like, basic stuff, really, with Athelia. And, like, before I started looking into the lore a little bit more, I was, like... I was open to the idea of another Daedric Prince. But then, the more that I've, like, studied the lore going further, I'm like, this is actually terrible. Still gave you the engagement, though. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind, like, comments like that don't necessarily bother me. I just think they're, like... I just think they're stupid. Like, I've got a video that's going to be coming out soon, and I know that it's going to be, like... This video is either going to be... It's going to explode, or it's going to get, like... It's going to cap out at, like, 2,000 views. Because it's talking about a bunch of racist comments, like, genuinely racist comments that I've gotten in my Thalmor video comment section. And so I don't really, like... I don't know, I don't get bothered by them on a personal level, but it is kind of, like, disconcerting that there are people defending racism through, like, I don't know, proxy racism through Elder Scrolls, like, legitimately. Like, if you're memeing, that's one thing. If you're joking, that's one thing. But, like, these people unironically, like, acting racist is weird. Have I seen All in All's animations? Yeah, All in All actually deleted his animations off of his channel recently. But they were very good. I think there's re-uploads now. Hate comments are so funny as a fanfic author. I got my first hate comment the other day, and it was so comically over-exaggerated that I could only laugh. Yeah, I think half the time, like, people... There's one comment I read in my new video that'll be out next week, and it is, like, the most over-the-top thing in the world. I'd like to ask them why they think that. Usually their opinions are completely whimsical, or they just like the MMO aspect and the lore doesn't matter to them. I remember this guy that I was talking to, like, this was like 9 or 10 years ago. ESO used to have something called veteran rank, and your veteran rank was like the prestige rank, basically, and veteran rank 16 was the highest you could go. So this guy was like a vet level 16, and I was talking to him about the lore implications of the main quest, and he was like, I think I said something like about the Prophet or about Sai Sahan or something, like one of the main characters, and he was like, oh, I don't know who that is. I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, I've never played the main story. Like, this dude would just log on and he would play PvP. Some people just do that. Like I said, ESO is a good MMO, and it's good enough that people do just play it without any regard for the storylines or the lore in the game. So some people just log on and they play PvP and they kill other players. And it's not an insignificant number of players. So a lot of the people who play ESO, I think they just play it for the MMO part. The unironic racists who randomly appear in the test fandom ruin Dunmary xenophobia for me. Yeah, it's just people who take it like here's the thing with... I know I talk about this a lot, but like, what I said in my Thalmor video was, I said, don't lump Altmer and Thalmor as the same thing. It would be unjust to lump the actions of the Thalmor onto the entire Altmer population. And I said, like, here's some famous Altmer who did not associate with the Thalmor, like High Chancellor Okato, or Lathanil of Sunhold, or whatever. And then these people in my comments section were like genuinely upset at me for doing that, and like asking people to not racially profile an entire group of people, even if they're not real, you know? It's like, you got to get in that headspace. But what was odd to me was that they were like, why are you taking this so seriously? And then they would like write these paragraph long things, and it's like, I think you're taking this more seriously than I am if you're writing an entire like fucking angry message to me about how I'm taking things too seriously. Like, if you're trying to defend the racism this badly in a fantasy universe, I think there's something wrong with you at this point. Yeah, why are you taking this so seriously? Proceeds to take seriously. Yeah, and it's like, it gets back to, like, a lot of the things that people were saying to me were along the lines of, it's just fiction, type stuff. And it's like, fiction is one of the best ways for you to learn something. Like, if you treat fiction as just fake stories about nothing, then I don't know, like there's so many morals to be gleaned from fictional stories. That's one of the big failings of Skyrim, I think, is that there's not like a moral message to the storyline. Skyrim's story is pretty basic. Like, its main quest about killing Alduin is pretty basic. It might have some stuff to say about, like, destiny and fate, but it doesn't really explore those themes very much. It's pretty much just, like, kill the dragon. Which is why the Civil War is the one part of Skyrim that, like, people still talk about to this day. Nobody's doing, like, analyses of the main story of Skyrim. People are more interested in the Civil War stuff because that's the actual thing that the writers focused on, the backdrop of those. So, like, yeah, that's the part that you can actually analyze. Norelian is just an old Altmer man in Windhelm running the white file. He ain't Thalmor. Yeah. Let me generalize ethnic groups in peace so I can draw racist comparisons to real life and feel okay about it. Yeah, that's how it feels a lot of the time with these people. Have you played any WoW or any Warcraft? No, I have not. But yeah, I don't know. Like, people project. There's a fine line between it. The amount of times I got hate for occasionally playing a Stormcloak because it fits the character I made is wild, because most of the time I play neutral characters. Really? I normally hear, like, Stormcloak people upset at people who play Imperial. But I don't know, I don't ever play Stormcloak, so I don't usually get the other side of that. Once got told to off myself for playing a Stormcloak. Oh my god. It's crazy. Yeah, people are actually insane. My, like, new thing with, well, newer thing, I guess. I've been doing it for a bit now, but, like, my first assumption when I see, like, crazy shit like that on the internet is just, like, that somebody's either having a bad day or that they have some kind of a mental constraint where they can't, like, I don't know. They can't fully process what they're, like, what I'm saying or what they're saying, or, like, there's gotta be some kind of a miscommunication. Some people really need to touch grass, yeah. I would agree. Bad sign of the times when things get heated in Skyrim role-playing discourse. Yeah. That's rough. Once got told to off myself for getting Oblivion's achievements too quickly? What? That's insane. You must have gotten those real fast. We've normalized being mean on the internet as an outlet. Yeah. Well, it's so easy to do. So easy to do. Like, I don't know about you guys, but, like, sometimes I'll see, like, it's, I don't know, with comments, I guess. Like, I've seen comments, and I've typed out a response, and then I'm like, you know what? It's not worth it. And then I just delete the comment. Like, I'll delete the comment before I hit post, you know? People tend to forget, I think, on the internet that it's like, you don't have to click enter just because you typed something. You can think about what you're about to say before you say it. And, like, when I was, like, a 15, 16, 17-year-old kid on Reddit, like, oh yeah, I want to go check stuff out on Elder Scrolls. I'll go on Reddit for that. Like, I used to get mad at people. I'd leave comments like that. It's one of the reasons I'm, like, kind of want to delete my Reddit account, because I'm like, I don't know what type of shit I said. I know I deleted most of my old comments, or like I used to apologize to people instead of like deleting comments. I'd be like, I'm sorry I said that. And it was never anything like terrible, but it'd just be like simple stuff. Like if someone was being an idiot, I'd be like, well, go fuck yourself then. You know? Like just immature responses. That's another thing too. Like a lot of the people on the internet that you're talking to could be like children. They just don't have emotional intelligence yet. It's also so easy to be nice and civil. I'm always perplexed why people choose the other way. I don't know. I think it can be tough to be nice and civil sometimes. Like if someone's perpetually being an idiot, I find it hard to be nice and civil all the time, you know? But at the same time, it's like, it's just on the, like, you don't need to let other people affect you. Like, specifically over the internet, don't let stuff affect you. I guess it's different if you're, like, talking to someone or if it's in real life. But yeah, if it's over the internet, it's like, whatever. When I'm upset, I type my feelings and then hit backspace. Feels like ranting, but never hurts anybody. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta get your thoughts out. I'm getting more chill with time. I find that too. Like when I was a kid, I used to yell. Like, you might be surprised, but like I used to yell and like rage at like online games. I still get mad at online games sometimes. That's why I don't play them. Like competitive games, I don't play them too much these days because I'm like, other people can make me mad, you know? Whereas like if I die in a Dark Souls game or even like Elder Scrolls or something, I usually just laugh because I'm like, oh yeah, it was my fault. But what I can't control is other people and how they play video games. So yeah, but I've found that like with more time, I have gotten more chill with all that type of stuff. Big part of the problem too, lots of teenagers pretending to be adults with all the big feelings of teenagers. Yeah. 2 important rules of the internet. There's someone on the other side of the screen, and the internet is forever. Yeah. Just don't ask Bethesda fans to be nice about Bethesda or Emil Pagliarulo. It's very difficult for some people. That's why I always try to distinguish, like, that I don't think Emil Pagliarulo is a bad person, or I don't wish him ill will. He seems like a nice guy. That, like, that whole speech that he gives, he seems like a nice guy throughout the whole time that he's talking. It's just the message that he's giving is terrible. That's why I stopped playing Rivals. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't get into Rivals because I was playing Overwatch at the time, but that's why I stopped playing Overwatch. Broke my desk once for losing a League of Legends match. Yeah. I'm trying to think if I've ever, like, broken anything crazy. I threw my controller one time. I know I told that story. But seen people get really worked up about Emil. Yeah, he is a polarizing figure. The only ill will I wish against Emil is that he's removed or relocated. Yeah. I always join these during Pagliarulo slander. It's a strange phenomenon. We can feel you coming. Got threatened with collective grape in Overwatch. Stopped playing after that match. Yeah, I could honestly see that. So when I was playing Overwatch recently being like within 6 to 8 months. I turned off chat entirely because I didn't like seeing what other people said. Other people pissed me off too much. So I just turned off the chat entirely, and it made the game way more enjoyable. But I only like playing Doomfist, and that made people mad. People did not like me as a Doomfist main. Not to out myself as uneducated, but can you refresh us on the Emil Pagliarulo hate/controversy? Basically, Emil Pagliarulo was a writer for Bethesda. I believe he started in 2005. I was actually just reading up on him recently. Around then, I believe, is when he started. And he wrote the Dark Brotherhood questline for Oblivion, which is very good. And then during Skyrim, he got promoted to create all of the... He was like the lead quest designer or something. That's kind of why you can see throughout Skyrim's quest lines, they all kind of do the same thing. Oh no, there's... Our guild is down on hard times. And then there's a traitor. And then you deal with the traitor and you become the leader. College of Winterhold. Down on hard times. Nobody trusts the college. Then Ancano's the traitor. You kill Ancano. Now you're in charge. Then Dark Brotherhood. They're the last sanctuary. You kill Astrid. She was the traitor. Now you're in charge. Thieves Guild. Down on hard times. They're cursed. Mercer Frey stole the skeleton key. You kill Mercer Frey. You're now in charge. Companions. They don't have the pieces of Wuthrad. You go fix that problem. Kodlak dies. There's not really a traitor, but then you take over. It's all like... Emil has one idea. You know? And then he gave this speech after he was lead quest designer on Fallout 4. I think lead quest designer. I might not be correct with that title, but basically he's in charge of writing a lot of stuff. So he gave this infamous speech where he talked about tons of terrible ideas for game design and writing, with like Bethesda not using design documents to keep track of their stuff, or great games are played, not made, or, you know, like, keep it simple, stupid. That was his philosophy. Instead of making a great game with very complex story, keep it simple, stupid. That was his motto. And he said that Bethesda fans don't want to engage with the story, they just want to play around in the world. So he said a lot of just really controversial stuff that's made him very unpopular with people. Similar in online games. That's why I don't play games with voice features, because people used to leave a lobby. Oh, can't play with the girl. Yeah, I've seen, like, I've always thought it's cool to see women in gaming, because it's like, you typically don't see that, and you should just encourage people to, you know, encourage more people in the community of gaming in general. But I think a lot of it's just immature boys, like, online. I think it's funny to yell at women. And again, it's behind the protection of a screen, so they can do it pretty easily. It's also the mindset of like, I think the word simp has ruined society. From my perspective, Emil hasn't done much of substance in almost 2 decades. Yeah. I've only ever seen the opposite of it. Dudes white knighting for women in games. That does happen. but I haven't seen that firsthand. I've seen it on like YouTube shorts. Same thing with Fallout 3 and 4, both having you leave a vault to find your family member. I think that's more Todd Howard. I don't know. But Todd Howard has said that he loves the visual of you leaving a vault. And that's why you always start in a vault in the Fallout games. In Bethesda Fallout games, specifically. New Vegas does not have that constraint, so it actually gives you an interesting start where you get shot in the head. You work in the morning while you streaming at 1:21 a.m. because it's a free country, god damn it. I do work in the morning though. He said in whispered brackets. I'm going to leave a list of games that I will be making a video on a couple of these. But these are games that are very cheap on Steam right now. They're games that I highly recommend. And I will leave you with these games before I go, because I think they're things... Oops. I think they're things that everybody should see. Should play. So let me retype that. And yeah, I do need to be getting to bed. So those are the games I will recommend to you for right now. They're all very cheap on Steam at the moment. I can't speak for the Xbox or PlayStation stores. But yeah, I am going to head off. So I will talk to you guys in the next one, but it's been fun hanging out. And hopefully I'll have that Oblivion review done soon. So yeah. Pentiment is free on with Xbox Game Pass, so if you do have that, definitely play Pentiment. It's really good. Alright, peace out everybody.